Okay, wait. We can still do the joke when someone actually comes in. Oh wait, shoot. I don't have the audio. I don't have the audio ready anymore. Uh, whoever's watching, pretend I started the stream. Pretend I started the stream right now. No, never mind. Not right now. Okay, okay. Hello, welcome to the stream. Leighton, 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 Leighton. I'm sweaty already. Welcome to the stream. I'm gonna leave this audio sitting here playing for a second. Okay, you don't have to listen to that anymore. I'm sorry. Scuffed stream opening. So we're gonna play some Great Ace Attorney today. Uh, which is Leighton adjacent. Leighton had a crossover with Ace Attorney on 3DS, so it's connected. Um, okay, hold on. Realized if I've got the fan on, I probably need to put a shirt on as well. At least until halfway through the stream, where I get really hyped up about something in the game, and then I start, and then I like rip my shirt off. this this has happened a few times before. But anyway, welcome to the stream. Last time we were watching. Get out of here! You're blocking Leighton. Last time we were watching. No, no more Leighton. Last time I streamed was about a week and a half ago, and we watched the Nintendo Direct, and Professor Layton game was teased, and I'm more excited about that than any other video game coming out at any point in the near future. But and maybe I'll stream that if it comes to Steam and isn't just on Switch, or maybe I'll get a capture card for my Switch and stream it there. Anyway, that game probably won't be out for several years. This game is out right now, and I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play more. I said that like this was the first time I've ever played this game. This is like 50% of my stream content, at least, has been the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. And when we left off in this game, we finished Case 2. Let me make sure the audio's. Yeah. Turn up the game a little bit. It's my end where I'm hearing the game too quiet. When we left off, we finished Case 2. We defeated the sussy Sham Spear, and now we're going to the World Fair, or whatever this is called. The Great Exhibition.
End of the century Great Exhibition of London. Surely there is not a soul who has failed to hear of it. Wondrous new works of culture and industry from every corner of the globe had converged on Hyde Park.
Hyde Park.
Welcoming over 50 million visitors.
50 million? Dang.
The last great hurrah.
That is high for 19th century.
And delighted people of all nations.
Is this real lore? Is this real world historical lore?
Success.
Is the Great Exhibition real?
As regards to the
okay, this part ain't real.
This part ain't real. Festivities, very few are aware my friend Mr. Herlock Sholmes had a hand in unraveling.
Herlock Sholmes.
For from the shadows, it was he who earnestly unearthed the facts of the case.
This seems like it's going to be a good one. And Professor Layton helped too. No, he didn't, because he didn't exist yet.
Sholmes's brilliant deductions, as clear and lofty as the crystal tower itself, brought the truth to light.
When does Professor Layton take place in the modern era? I think those games are just kind of timeless. Like, they're not really set.
The great exhibition, which is absolutely packed with people.
Like, the Professor Layton games aren't set in the turn of the century. I don't. No, because he crossed over with Ace Attorney, who's like a Layton is just kind of like one of those like timeless characters. Because it's not like he walks around with a cell phone or anything. Like, he lives in this very like steampunk version of modern London, modern England. We're here at the showground. They already said this.
Is unusually fine, and we're about to witness a most extraordinary scientific experiment.
Excuse me. A most extraordinary. Can I have the text go automatically, so I don't have to press forward in the middle of my announcement? Why this dialogue's weirdly quiet? Hold on. Yes, I'm cranking me up, so that you can hear him talk and you don't have to hear me do an approximation of it. Ladies and gentlemen, the 20th century will see steam engines and electrical power dominate the world. This is honestly weirdly similar to the opening of my favorite Layton game. I'm sorry, I'll stop bringing up Layton, but it's giving Layton vibes. I feel like the Ace Attorney guy made the Layton crossover and was like, well, now I want to set a real Layton game in like steampunk London world because that seems fun, and it is. I haven't been listening to anything he's been saying, so we're gonna read it again in a funny old-timey voice. We're here at the showground of the Great Exhibition, which is absolutely packed with people. The weather is unusually fine, and we're about to witness a most extraordinary scientific experiment. Ladies and gentlemen, the 20th century will see steam engines and electrical power dominate the world. These lines aren't usually voice acted, so I usually do it myself. But this time they are, and I'm not listening. Horse-drawn carts will give way to the motor car. Ships will sprout wings and take to the skies.
And today, we showcase even more advanced technology. A glimpse into the future.
A glimpse into the future. What? What is this? This is literally the opening to Professor Layton in the Unwound Future. They're showing off a time machine at the beginning of that game. Is this a time? This is literally the plot of that game.
A demonstration of my super high voltage instantaneous kinesis machine.
Is he showing off a time machine? Is this literally? That's how Professor Layton in the Unwound Future opens, with a time machine being shown off, but it like blows up and goes horribly wrong. I think something like that. I don't know. It's been a while since I've played that. Is that what's happening here, or is this something else? This is not a time machine. I'm gonna stop like talking out of my ass now.
High voltage electricity and beamed to another location.
In time? Wait, maybe it is.
Whereupon his body will be reassembled by a series of complex calculations, exactly as it was before.
Is it a... We're going to teleport someone! Surely this will not go wrong at all! This is exactly how the opening of that other game went, and in that game, the person disappeared! Oh, are you teleporting them through time or just location? I don't know. What was that little dance run?
Moments from now.
Okay, I forgot I had to
Gentlemen, well,
press
the
forward.
Blink of an eye complete an incredible journey through the air. To arrive an instant later on the Crystal Tower behind you.
He will teleport to the crystal tower behind you! The machine definitely won't explode and cause him to die and or disappear. I love pulling levers! Okay, this case is already S tier. This is funny. Look at him dance. Look at him dance. Oh yes! Oh yes, Professor! Professor, you're going to the future! Oh no! Oh, it exploded just like that! The voice acting screaming was not even far off from what I was doing. My god. Alright, alright. I like this one already. I like this one already. What the hell, dude? Oh boy, this is gonna be a silly one, isn't it? Alright, this is gonna be one of those silly streams. I'm changing the stream to silly stream. Let's go. Done. Stream info updated. Alright. I didn't read that. 22nd October, 9:36 a.m. Sholmes' suite. Bruno! Bruno, are you listening? Oh, sorry. What was that, Iris? What's the matter with you? You've been miles away all morning. Didn't you like what I cooked for breakfast? No, that's not it at all. I'm just thinking about the machine exploding and him going, oh, 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 oh! Today's paper! It's full of news about the Great Exhibition again. Did we jump back before that explosion? Or, like, what's happening? Yes, the Great Exhibition. I'd like to go sometime. I think we did. You're really not... So, how am I, Sholmes, and Iris all going to end up at that scene when it explodes? Because we were... I guarantee we're there. Oh god, he's depressed. He's depressed, and we're gonna cheer him up by taking him to the funny exploding teleport machine at the Grand Exhibition. Did you say something? Iris? Oh gosh, you're even more down. I just didn't read the text. It's just too much reading. I don't like reading anymore. When did you arrive, Mr. Naruhodo? I looked 2 inches to the left, and I didn't see you there. I've been here about half an hour already. We had breakfast together. We did? What? Why didn't you mention it before? I thought you might have known I was here, because breakfast? Oh, this is going to be a very silly case. I can already tell. Iris is quite right. You're clearly lacking in vim. So much so that I didn't notice your presence. I think you're the one who's clearly lacking in vim. Come on, perk up. This is a silly stream. Of course, I could deduce the reason perfectly well with some simple observations. What? Let's see. Yes, for example, your tousled hair this morning with all its unruly spikes. Clearly, it can be deduced, therefore, that... let me stop you there, Mr. Sholmes, because I think I can see where this is going. My hair always looks like this. It always has, ever since we first met, in fact. Oh, really? How interesting. It just doesn't look like a haircut as such, I suppose. It crossed my mind recently. It's been 6 months now. Okay, here's where we established that it's been 6 months since the last case we played right before this. We re-established that. Or not. It's been 6 months since I was forbidden from working in court. Oh yeah, when did that happen? When did that lore? Was that... When we didn't get that lore in the flashback case last stream. Why are we banned from court? Well, that would explain why you seem rather glum. Don't you agree, Hurley? I'm not the only one here who's glum. Did you say something? Iris? Back to moping. I know that was not his dialogue, but I thought it'd be funny if it was. What's the matter with Mr. Sholmes today? He seems even more down in the dumps than me. I know! And the Great Exhibition is open. You'd think he'd be excited. Yeah, we're all gonna go to the Great Exhibition to cheer up. Yeah, okay, let's go. Let's go! Let's go! I want to go to the good one and we all see it together. I want to! Of course I do! But I can't. Not for the time being. Why not? Why not? Why not? Because I'm a great detective after all. So you're embroiled in some tricky case that you can't be distracted from? Is that it? I don't remember hearing that you're working on a case, Hurley. Checking the audio again. Audio jungle. Okay, alright. Sorry, what? I suppose we should try to find out what's going on. You okay, buddy? Why are you talking about jungles? Your gloomy mood. Let's start there. Are you investigating a particularly tricky case at the moment, Mr. Sholmes? You could say that, I suppose. Nothing more to add? It's not like you. What sort of case is it? Shh! Quiet, Mr. Naruhodo. We must not discuss it here. You never know who might be listening. You're acting very strangely, Hurley. What do you mean, Iris? Well, usually, the more mysterious and complicated the case is, the better Hurley's mood. Is it really a case that's bothering you? Iris, please! You mustn't exercise your astute powers of observation and deduction on me without invitation. Remember what I always say. Put yourselves in the shoes of the individual about whom you're making deductions. I have never followed my own advice, not once. You say that, do you? You, Mr. Sholmes. Never mind. Once I've had a cup of tea, I must make I must make my way at once to the crime scene. What is going on? The whole of London has been swept up into this great exhibition, hasn't it? The most advanced science, the most modern technology, the finest works of art and feats of engineering. For the next 6 months, our capital will be showcasing these things, and the world will be watching. Oh, do you know what I'd like to do? I'd like to look down on London and from one of those lovely balloons. Look down on? Do you mean those things fly? Yes, of course. They fly high in the sky and they don't even need wings to do it. All you need is hot air. So, they're explaining what a hot air balloon is to me because I will either be on one or the killer of this case will somehow be on one. Cool. I can't understand it at all. I'm already making predictions just based on what kind of technology they're explaining to me. Because yeah, if they bother to explain like a piece of tech to me, it's important somehow. Huh. Most people can't understand new scientific discoveries at first. That's why we have to explain them if they factor into the narrative of the case. But in 100 years' time, all these things will just be common knowledge. So I wonder why we explain them to the player at all. I suppose they might be. Mind you, some of the science being demonstrated seems very questionable. Something went wrong in the open experimentation stage yesterday. Oh, okay, this is after that explosion. I thought, that was a huge explosion. Still, I wish I'd seen it, though. I'd love to see how bad some of those scam experiments really are, says the innocent 10-year-old girl. See here, every page of this paper carries some article or other about the great exhibition. But the brighter things shine, the darker the shadows that are cast behind them. I said that weirdly. Personally, I find myself drawn to the darkness, to the impenetrable. That is my proper atmosphere. The Great Exhibition newspaper has been entered into the court record. Shadows cast behind. Is that a metaphorical way of referring to the back page of the paper? Hold on. No, that's not what I meant. I gotta cook this and examine this. Every article on the front page is news about the Great Exhibition. Public experiments demonstrate brand new scientific ideas, cultural exhibits from around the globe. It's also positive and hopeful. We must all go see it properly. Alright, so what's on the back? Oh no. The Reaper attacked. Lord Von Zeeks and compatriot cornered? I'm just reading it already. So many glowing reports about the exhibition. Other than this rather gloomy looking one, that is. One that has Sherlock Sholmes in the picture. What's the matter, Runo? The Reaper attacked? That's Lord Von Zeeks. This must be what Mr. Sholmes is talking about. So he's been put on... So Sholmes has been put on the case of figuring out who attacked the Reaper, but all he really wants to do is go to the like cool Great Exhibition thing. Got it. Now I understand what's going on. Let me ask about this first. Because I still don't really know / remember why I was banned from court. I took on the defense of a young girl in a trial heard at the Old Bailey. What at first seemed like a simple case of murder that took place at a London pawnbrokery turned out to be part of a much more... Oh, did I get banned from being in court after the end of the first game, and I just forgot about it because I take too many breaks from this game? Because that would make sense. That would indeed make sense. During the course of the trial, it was found that I made an unavoidable, yet at the same time unforgivable mistake. Oh, right, because Susato kind of unintentionally tampered with the crime scene. Right? Well, we're gonna get a recap now, so. Words fail me! This situation is utterly deplorable. Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, my lord? Or maybe we didn't get this. I will decide upon your fate following the conclusion of this trial. Maybe they didn't actually tell me I was banned from the courtroom at the end of that case, and they're just kind of using it for suspense now. I don't know. Of course, my lord. In the end, I had my right to represent people in court revoked. Like, I don't remember if they gave me this information at the end of the last game. I was kind of in, like, go, 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 finish the game mode that stream. So, I was told I had to spend my time in research and studies. That's what I've been doing. You have, haven't you, Runo? Reading all those big, fat tomes about British law up in your room? And the notes about Sholmes' old cases? Brewing Iris's special blends of tea, fetching my daily bread for me. You've become something of a manservant around here. Start on the silverware next, Mr. Naruhodo! Well, I'm thinking of going to ask the powers that be to reconsider. Specifically Lord Strongheart, at the British Supreme Court on Whitehall. Lord Strongheart? Ah, the delightful Lord Chief Justice. Not my favorite fellow. He's not mine either, but he's the man I have to talk to. He's the only one who can grant permission for me to move the plot forward by working in the courts again. We've been dawdling on flashback episodes and Susato cases for the last. It's time for the game to get. It's time for me. It's time for me to be in charge. I'm in charge. What was that? What did I just quote? I don't. I think I just quoted. Never mind. That's like. I think I just quoted the.
No, they can't because the vice chair's here. I take charge. Read the standing orders. Read them and understand them.
Explaining what I just quoted would take like 5 minutes. So we're gonna keep going instead. The Reaper attacked. It says in the paper that Lord Von Zeeks was attacked. That's terrible. You know the legend of the Reaper of the Bailey, of course, don't you? Only too well, in fact. Yes, Prosecutor Barack Van Zeeks. The vice chairman's not here. I'm in charge. I'm just thinking about that stupid video. Hold on. Focus. I can pull it up in a minute. They say that if the Reaper is the prosecutor in a case, there's no salvation for whoever's in the dock. Even if the defendant is found not guilty. Dun 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 dun. Once the Reaper has someone in his sights one way or another, that person's time left on this earth will be short. London's finest rogues always find ways around the law. They'll stop at nothing to secure an acquittal at trial, falsifying evidence, paying sham witnesses, threatening jurors, bribing judges. But even such devious tactics as these cannot save them from the hand of the Reaper. As you've experienced yourself, haven't you, Mr. Naruhodo? I don't know why we're talking about this for the 5th time. We already know that you've seen it happen. If a leader among their fraternity is seen to have been taken by the Reaper, now I'm too cold, and the fan needs to go off. I don't know. I don't like it directly on my body. Vice chair's not. I'm in charge. I'm gonna have to find the video during, like, the break. If a leader among their fraternity is seen to have been taken by the Reaper, retaliation like this does occur. So, some, like, big-name criminal attacks the Reaper? Really, the capital has a never-ending supply of scoundrels who could have done this. So, do you mean Lord Von Zeeks has been attacked like this before? He's quite an accomplished combatant, you know. He doesn't take these attacks lying down. Although, it seems that his assailants were armed with guns this time. Oh my goodness, is he alright then? My dear fellow, how on earth would I know? Well, in the article here it says, As to what of Lord Von Zeeks and his condition, all will be revealed in tomorrow's morning edition. Why does it rhyme? Ah, I see. Well, we shall have to be patient then. No, I can't wait till tomorrow. Oh my god. In that case, you shall have to inquire with somebody in the know. But who? Lord Strongheart, perhaps? Sholmes isn't in the know? Like, am I crazy, or... Am I crazy, or is that him on the article? Maybe that's actually not him. That guy looks kind of evil, actually. So maybe it's not. Maybe it's not Herlock Sholmes on the cover there. But like, who is that? What? This is a weird image. Lord Von Zeeks and compatriot cornered. Oh, so this is like somebody who was with him at the time? Oh boy, I really did think that was Sholmes on the article, and I was like, oh, so has got to investigate that, but I guess not. Or maybe he's being cagey about info because he's not allowed to tell us stuff. I don't know. Either way, looks like he's got business to attend to. Well, I must be leaving now. Yes, understood. See you later, Mr. Sholmes. Ha! You really are a shameless liar sometimes, my dear fellow. What? You seek to put me off my guard and follow me, don't you? Well, you would be wasting your time. The thought hadn't crossed my mind, but now I'm wondering where you're going. Well then, see you later indeed. Listen to him. He's still laughing on his way out of the door. What is she wearing? Hidden Mickey! Hidden Mickey!
All right then, Bruno. Let's get going.
What are you wearing?
I've got change to go to the Great Exhibition. You're going to take me.
What? But I was just about to go to the Supreme Court.
Oh, well, that sounds fun, too. You're going to take me there, then.
Alright. I'm the babysitter for today. Cool.
Of course. And after all this...
I'm in charge. Sholmes is gone. I'm in charge.
Of course. And after the Supreme Court, then we'll go to see the Great Exhibition. And then you can show me this funny video you keep quoting.
Alright. This is the first time we haven't actually seen Chief Strongheart in this game yet, so that's why they're given like a little extra time to explaining who he is. 22nd October, British Supreme Court, Lord Chief Justice's office. It's been about 6 months now since I was last here, but some things never change, like the sense of foreboding I always seem to feel in this place.
La-di-da, la-di-da-di-da-di-da, da-di-da-di-doo. Oh, I love this place. I always find so many interesting books here.
Of course, I was forgetting that you've been here before. The time we came here 6 months ago. When Susato-san was given the news that she was to return to Japan. Ah! It's been a while since I've done his voice. Ah! I understand you wish to speak with me. Oh, Lord Strongheart. I trust you've been keeping well. Let's see. Since you arrived and requested an audience, it's been 4 hours, 32 minutes, and 26 seconds. I've kept you waiting. My apologies. Oh, no, not at all. I like nothing more than standing around staring into space. Good to know. I know that you're trying to butter me up, but I don't care, because compliments do work on me. Male Strongheart, Lord Chief Justice of London. He's the man who allowed me to start practicing as a defense lawyer when I arrived in Britain as a student. You need only savor the air for a moment in this grand office to understand his preeminent status. As you will be aware, the Great Exhibition of London is now underway at last. We're extremely busy as a result. Placing the grounds, guarding the new technologies, dealing with petty crime. And furthermore, as of next month, we shall open the... Yeah, he's talking about the exhibition. Furthermore, as of next month, we shall open the International Forensic Science Symposium. Oh, not heard about that.
Investigating authorities from 40 countries around the globe will be taking part, including from your own land. Forensic science is the future. The world must embrace it. As we're the hosting nation, I have much to do, and it is my highest priority. If others must wait for my attention as a result, so be it. Well, it's nice to know where I stand. That came out less sarcastic than I meant it to, actually. So, you wish to consult with me? Of course. I can very well imagine what this is about. Thank you for agreeing to this meeting, my lord. I want to be allowed to start working as a defense lawyer again in court. That's what brought me here today. But actually, there's something else playing in my mind, as it happens.
Bruno, just take a deep breath and come out with it.
Permission to work. I came here today to ask for your permission. Go on. 6 months ago, my right to work in court as a lawyer was revoked, and I was told to spend my time studying. Obviously, I'm very sorry for what happened, but the thing is, it made me understand what it really means to defend somebody under the rules of a foreign justice system. I desperately want to have another go. Please, permit me to enter the courtroom again. Mr. Naruhodo. Yes? Here it comes. I'm sure you haven't forgotten your position here, have you? At best, you're a substitute for your compatriot. This was never your intended role. Well, that's true. The Japanese government actually sent my best friend on the study tour, not me. It should have been Kazuma. He was so determined to bring change. Now we're gonna get a Kazuma flashback. This has already happened once, this game. We've already recapped this case once already. That tragic accident hadn't happened, so I wouldn't be here in this office now. Dun 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 dun. Mr. Asogi was my best friend, you see. That's why I can't leave it unfinished. I have to fulfill his calling for it. His calling, you say? Has it never occurred to you that perhaps you know nothing of his true calling? This guy's sus. This guy was sus in the first game, he's sus in this game. The mission with which that young law student was charged. What do you suppose it really was? What do you mean? Mission? He's not making any sense. Never mind. I've read all the reports you submitted over the past 6 months. It's clear to me that you regret your actions and have been studiously obeying your revised instructions. Do you mean... As of this moment, I reinstate your license to practice law here in Great Britain. Thank you so much. That's wonderful news, Bruno. In fact, I believe I have the perfect case to mark your comeback. A curious affair. You'll consider it, I hope. He's only giving me my job back because he wants me to work another, weirdo case that nobody else will take. What is the case? Is it the funny time machine teleporter thing? Please tell me it's the funny time machine teleporter thing. Yes, that's right. I believe it was reported in the press. It was indeed. It was indeed the funny time machine teleporter thing, as you call it. A serious accident, really. You probably shouldn't. It's not that funny. Let me see. How was it described? Super high voltage instantaneous kinesis, I think. Instantaneous kinesis, as in moving things with a click of the fingers? That's right. It's just what my herbal blends need, a dash of devil-may-care. Whatever this serious accident was exactly, it's clearly captured Iris's imagination. It's an unfortunate business. A large explosion engulfed the public experimentation stage, and a man lost his life. A certain Mr. O.D. Asman. O.D. Asman. That's definitely a pun. Oh, die is in the name. And die as man. Oh, die as man? I don't know what the joke is there exactly. A certain Mr. Odai Asman, an investor and a well-known figure in society.
ODS, I don't know. A large explosion. I feel like the pun probably has something to do with the fact that the guy died. Not to bring up the Layton crossover again, but in that game, a dude died in a car accident at the beginning of the game, and his name was, I shit you not, it was Carmine Accidenti. So I think this is probably a similar kind of pun. The man responsible for the experiment was Professor Albert Harebrained. That pun's pretty obvious. His last name is Harebrained. He was detained immediately after the incident and is due to appear in court tomorrow on the charge of murder. What? Murder? If you intend to take on his defense, you should hurry to meet with him at the prison. There is very little time left for you to carry out any kind of investigation. These are the only kinds of cases I ever give you, is when it's like, oh, the case is about to start tomorrow, and there's no lawyer, and no one has figured anything out yet, so here, you can try it, you can have it if you want. You want to work so bad? Here. You want to work so bad? Here. Take this case that you're not going to win. Somehow pull it out of your ass, every single time. We should go to the prison straight away then, and try to meet with this German professor, don't you think? Definitely. Ah, yes. One more thing about the case. Wait, he's German? Oh boy, funny accent incoming. He didn't have a funny accent in the opening scene, though. There's a connection with our mutual acquaintance, the Reaper. Oh. How? It's not. Okay, I guess I have to do this one first. Weird. All sorts of conferences have been taking place around the world to coincide with the Great Exhibition. And next month, the largest and most important of them all will take place at last. The International Forensic Science Symposium. It does seem as though criminal investigation needs to embrace scientific methods, doesn't it? Exactly! Ah! London, the global epicenter of culture, science, and wealth, now has a population exceeding 6 million. Sadly, crime in the capital is growing at a similarly startling rate, so it's imperative that we use the latest scientific methods to investigate and resolve cases as efficiently as possible. Which is what's known as forensic science, isn't it? Exactly! The future of policing. ACAB. I don't know if this guy's like actually the evil mastermind sus, or if he's just like ACAB sus. Regrettably, however, Britain is currently dragging its feet when it comes to the adoption of forensic methods. Oh dear, that's alarming. Exactly! It's extremely alarming! I like that every time he does that gesture, birds fly off in the background. Where is this? I've commented on this before. Like, what is this backdrop? Is his office just, like, inside of Big Ben? Like, what is this room? Ugh! Like, does he just sit up there at his desk with, like, the clock mechanisms behind it? This is so weird. It's such a weird room. If I were Her Majesty's Attorney General, you can be sure the numbers of crimes committed and resolved in London would be very different to the current figures. And I can cite 12 solid arguments and 223 individual reasons to support my claim. Wait, so who is Her Majesty's Attorney General, and why does Strongheart want that person's job? By way of apology for keeping you waiting earlier, I shall detail everyone now. What? Oh, how fascinating. It all began 15 years ago. I was, and then I shit my pants, and then... This guy's normally so, like, time efficient. Like, his whole gimmick is like, I've been talking to you for 26 minutes and 43 seconds, and I have 30 minutes until I need to reach my train. But here he's just like, I'm gonna give you, like, my thesis. And that more or less sums up my feelings on the matter, in the simplest of terms, of course. Essentially, formally establish a forensic investigation division within Scotland Yard. That is my mission. Oh, right, yes, that's wonderful. I was definitely listening. Exactly. Wonderful is precisely what it will be. La-di-da-di-da. Iris isn't paying attention at all. She's got her nose in another book now. What is this outfit, dude? Oh, is it over? Did you learn anything useful? I mean, it's kind of cute, to be honest. Like, it's like a cute little... This is a cute little kid's idea of, like she made this outfit herself. 100%. Can I talk to him about what... He said something about the Reaper. Let me present him the Reaper thing and see. Oh, that reminds me. Have you seen this? I forgot about it while you were telling me about forensics, but, the reports of the overwhelming success of the Great Exhibition? Of course. No, not that. The story on the back page. What story? The Reaper. The Reaper attacked. Ah, that. You've enjoyed some victories in court against my #1 prosecutor, haven't you? Poor Mr. Reaper. What happened to him? He wasn't killed, was he? There's no need for concern. Lord Von Zieks would not be so easily dispatched, surely. Can you tell us what happened? Very well, if it interests you. It does, strangely. Okay, here we go. He said this was connected to Von Zieks and then didn't elaborate. This is probably where I needed to go with the conversation. Fortunately, Lord Von Zieks emerged from the attack unscathed. Street ruffians are no match for that man. He's a very capable fighter. But that's incredible. They were armed with guns. Why was he attacked, though? Do we know? It's related to events that occurred a month ago. Excuse me. That sneeze took exactly 7 seconds. Now we must continue with this conversation. Explaining the sneeze took another 7 seconds. A leader of one of the capital's criminal organizations was indicted and prosecuted by Von Zieks. But the man was acquitted. I've no doubt large sums of money were involved behind the scenes. It sounds like he loses cases a lot more often than pretending. Maybe he's acquitted afterwards, maybe. I don't know. Large sums of money. A deplorable situation. Members of the jury were bribed, it seems. However, despite winning his freedom, what are they even, like, if members of the jury were bribed, why is the case not, like, revoked? Like, I don't... The man in question met a dramatic end yesterday. But you're not suggesting that was the work of the Reaper, surely. The victim's henchman certainly seemed to think so. He was a man by the name of Asman. Mr. Odie Asman. Oh. Interesting. So it's connected to the time machine teleporter nonsense. Got it. Did you say Asman? That's the man who died in the big explosion at the Great Exhibition. Yes. Known publicly as an investor, but in reality, head of a significant criminal organization. I wonder, could I ask you something? So that's why he told us this information, because it's relevant to the case we're supposed to be working? Try me. Why do you use Lord Von Zieks as a prosecutor? All the criminals who manage to get off in court then meet with mysterious ends outside the court. If fearful of that fate, they seem to strike at Lord Von Zieks first. I know there's no evidence that he actually is the Reaper in that sense, but still. Something's clearly going on here. I have Von Zieks work for the prosecution service for 2 reasons. Firstly, the man is the best prosecutor in the capital, bar none. And secondly, any deaths of criminals that have occurred outside the courtroom following his trials are nothing to do with him. But that doesn't make any sense. How can you explain the way so many have died if not by someone's hand? Von Zieks may have earned himself the moniker of the Reaper, but he is no killer. So he will continue to prosecute on behalf of the crowd. Unless he wishes otherwise, of course. Interesting. Whenever I talk with this guy, like the Strongheart guy, he gives me like some info, but there's always like a sense that he's leaving something out, you know? Like the man is sus. The man doesn't tell us everything.
Well, I must be leaving for my next engagement. I'm already 11 hours and 16 minutes late. My colleagues may be starting to fidget. He's much worse at handling his time than he was the last time we saw him. Holy crap. 11 hours late? That's quite something. That meeting had already started when I arrived back here for this engagement with you. So lateness was inevitable. Time stops for no man. This is one of those guys who once he's already late to something, he's like, well, screw it. I'm already late. I'll just like take my time now. That's what's going. Because like in the last game, he would show up and he'd give us like 2 minutes of his time, and he'd be like, I need to get somewhere right away. And now he's just like chronically late to everything, and spent like an hour explaining to us why he wants to open a forensic science division. He's one of those. That's why he times everything so diligently, because once he's late, he just like gives up on trying to be on time. Time stops for no man. Sure, it stopped for me during those 12 solid arguments and 223 reasons, right? Like, yeah. I'm already late, so might as well take my time. I would assume Lord Von Zeeks is at his office. Alright, I'll go and ask him about the attack in person. Ooh, seeing Von Zeeks outside of the courtroom? Okay. Away with you now! I'm leaving Professor Hairbrain's defense entirely in your hands. Of course, yes. Thank you very much, my lord. Ooh, I'm already enjoying this case. Like, both the little plot lines, both the little, like, intertwining plot lines we have going on seem really interesting. Like, on the one hand, we have kooky scientist builds teleporter and gets a guy killed. And then on the other hand, we have Reaper of the Bailey attacked by somebody, and we don't know who or why. We gotta figure out how these things are connected. Like, this is interesting. More Reaper screen time. Let's go talk to the Reaper. We can go to the prison in a minute. 22nd October, prosecutor's office. Ooh! So this is the legendary Reaper's office? Yes, it appears so. It spells a chill down your spine, doesn't it? What an amazingly deathly atmosphere. Oh, is that him? That hooded figure was so still I hadn't noticed his presence. His or her. Is that him? Those are like weird arms. I'm looking like some kind of monk. What are you doing here? Ah, okay, it is him. Oh, talking to Van Zeeks outside of the courtroom. Oh boy. He's as unwelcoming as I thought he'd be. Oh, I'm glad to see you're well. I am. So, who's the person over the wall, by the wall, being punished for something? So that guy sitting there wasn't him? That's funny. No punishment is taking place here. That's my apprentice, and he's sitting there of his own free will. I didn't know you had an apprentice. Is that the other guy on the picture? Oh, interesting. The guy who looked evil? Also, I was gonna point out the camera panned over. He's got the wine rack over here with the bottles and the glasses from the trials. Nice. He's very able in combat. Requisite skill for anyone under my tutelage. Are you referring to the attack on the Reaper that was reported in the papers? The Reaper? I'd be interested to know the Reaper's true identity myself. Assuming that is, such a fabled fiend genuinely inhabits our great courtrooms. He wants to know who's killing all of the people that... He wants to know if there is a real Reaper that isn't him, that is, like, taking out people. The Reaper's identity. What do you mean by what you said before? If you'd like to know the Reaper's true identity, does that mean I'm a crown prosecutor and a mortal like any other? I'm no demigod. But they've all died, haven't they? The people you've prosecuted, I mean. Whether or not the trial ended in a conviction or an acquittal. Those I prosecute are the vilest wretches of our society. People who, without question, deserve to be found guilty. The world is a better place without them. Also, Soseki Natsume. He exists too. That's not true of Mr. Natsume. He wasn't a vile wretch, and he's still alive. Nor was Jenny. In fact, she's ever so hardworking, and she's alive too. I can't deny that since I encountered you, things have taken a turn. But the point is this. If any of those vile wretches that escaped justice subsequently died in mysterious circumstances, it was at the hand of their own kind. It's not my work. Lord Strongheart said the same. He believes you're not involved in any way. But you were attacked by those ruffians because they believe it's true. The fact is, since people started to call me the Reaper of the Bailey, the number of serious crimes in the capital has dropped substantially. Oh, it would appear that even the most hardened criminals can be made fearful for their lives. Didn't Strongheart just say the crime rate was going up? Or, I guess he said serious crimes. I mean to say that if my pseudonym serves a useful purpose, I adopt it gladly and with honor. But it's putting you in danger. You could be killed. Bro, okay, the scar on his face? There's lore there. Like, I didn't really consciously think about it before. Like, it's just like, ooh, like, cool, like, scar here. But now I'm looking at him head on, and he's talking about, like he's been attacked before. It's like, there's lore. There's lore there. If that is my fate, let God decide. Lord Von Zieks. Dun, dun. God, this character is so freaking cool. Like, what a cool prosecutor. And you're getting to talk to him outside of the courtroom, just like as it. Lord Strongheart said the assault last night was some sort of revenge attack. True, carried out by the henchmen of Odie Asmon's criminal organization. The investigation meant their arrests were imminent. Presumably some hoped to kill me before that happened. Odie Asmon. Odious man. But there's also a die in there. Oh, he's an odious man because he's evil, yeah. He's always masqueraded as one of London's most powerful finances. A global investor. But his enormous wealth came to him by underhand means, via his criminal activities. And he used that money to buy himself a verdict of not guilty when he found himself in court, didn't he? Being prosecuted by you, Mr. Reaper. My name's not Mr. Reaper, but okay. The man got his comeuppance in the end. Yesterday, in fact. In extraordinary circumstances. It was a most unusual case. Most unusual cause of death. I know about that. It was super high voltage something gone wrong. Mr. Asmon died when the demonstration on the public experimentation stage ended in an enormous explosion. Correct. And you think I have some kind of divine ability to cause an accident like that to happen, do you? Well, no, that does seem a little far-fetched. Sorry, I'm like munching. I've got the munchies, so I'm just grabbing a pretzel or two between scenes. Sometimes, if I have pretzels, I just leave them. I'm just hoping Inspector Gregson will show up because it gives me an excuse to chew into the mic. That sounds horrible, but that is how it goes. That is how it tends to go. If this man really is the fabled Reaper, then he has to be innocent of this particular death, at least. Or I can just do it like a feral animal. I'm in charge! It's strange how this has worked out, isn't it, Bruno? I mean, with you taking on the professor's defense for the trial tomorrow. What? Not going to be defending him. Oh, yes, that's right. I barely know the man's name yet, to be honest. Are you going to be prosecuting him? It's kind of a routine here. Albert. Albert Hairbrain. That's right. Do you know him by any chance? Of course. He's a contemporary of mine. We were at university together. And so here's my question. Wait, at university together? That's weird. I thought, is Von Zieks prosecuting this person? Because Strongheart keeps giving us cases where we're going up against Von Zieks, but then Von Zieks, like, also works for him. So it's like this weird thing of, like, at first it just seemed like Strongheart was giving us cases he thought we wouldn't win. McGill did, not Sume. But at this point, we've won so many cases that we shouldn't have been able to win that there's no way Strongheart is still just giving us, like, dumpy cases that can't be won. Like, I don't... What is Strongheart cooking? What is he cooking? He's a contemporary of mine. We were at university together. You're... What? He's not like some criminal that you hate? Why would you think that? I'd understood that Professor Hairbrain was from Germany. Hairbrain's from a respectable British family. A British family with the last name Hairbrain. I don't know. After graduating from the University of London, he moved to Germany to carry out research. That's why he didn't have a silly accent. Got it. I'm glad I didn't go talk to him first and give him a silly accent then. So you were students together. I was in the... Like, I'll give him a silly scientist voice. He doesn't need a silly German accent. I was in the faculty of law, of course, and he in science, so our paths rarely crossed. But curiously, we got along. Though I've not met him since my university days, I certainly didn't expect our next encounter to take this form. And with you, of all people, representing me. Only if I make it out of this office alive. He's actually been charged with murder, it seems. Yes, I know. Because the prosecution will be handled by me. Did Strongheart give you this case? Why does he keep giving you cases, and then why does he keep assigning me as a prosecutor to something, and then giving you the case? What is he cooking? I don't know what he's cooking either! But you made it sound as if you and the professor had been friends. We are friends, it's true. Then why would you do this? If the Reaper is the prosecutor, there's nothing anyone can do to save him. He's doomed. What is Lord Von Zieks cooking? Okay, hold on. We're gonna present you. I only have one piece of evidence, so I'll just show this to everybody. Well, this is less of a silly case than I thought it would be from that opening, but yeah, I'm good with it. This is gonna be like we're gonna go talk to the scientist, and then it's gonna be a silly case. The intertwining of silly case and lore case here is real good. Lord Von Zieks about the article in this paper. I said that as if there was no comma. Ah, yes. It seems there was a reporter nearby when that little skirmish took place. I had no idea I'd been photographed. It was careless of me. That's an actual photo of him? That's a weird... Oh, and those are the guys attacking him? This is such a weird photo. I feel like whoever took this is relevant somehow. It looks as though it was taken after the people who attacked you had run away, though. Does it? Does it? Why is he, like, just standing there as if he's... Why does it look like a, screenshot for the opening of the game? Like, this doesn't look like a taken in a moment of action photo, but it also doesn't look like a these two people have just been attacked photo. I clicked on the text again. Well, wait. That was probably... I think he said something different there. Hold on. Let me back out of this and read what that said. The Reaper attacked. It's the kingpins of the criminal underworld, generally managing to escape convictions in the Reaper's trial. And this isn't the first time their henchmen have tried to attack Lord Von Zieks as a result, by the sound of it. It makes you think. If that's how the justice system works in London, then there must be dark forces at work. Rest assured, the police have already apprehended every last one of the attackers. But there's someone else fighting alongside you, it seems. Yeah, that guy over there. Yeah? Yeah. As I mentioned already, he's my apprentice. Perhaps you could tell us a little more about him? Yeah, it's weird we haven't even seen this guy's face yet, like... I mean, assuming he's the man in the photo, I guess we've seen his face in the photo, but... He's in my tutelage to become a prosecutor. So you could say he's my apprentice, I suppose. Ah, like you are to Hurley then, Bruno. I don't remember taking an apprenticeship with a great detective. He's currently compiling a report about last night's attack. It looks like he's wearing some kind of mask. On Lord Strongheart's orders. Nobody knows the man's face, or indeed his identity. Wait, what? So that wasn't him in the photo. Hold on. This is like the 8th time I've looked at the photo in the court record, but like... Oh! Wait, this is Von Zeke's. This is the attacker. I'm moving the mouse over here. This is the attacker, and this is Von Zeke's. Why does Von Zeke look so like... I guess I'm just not used to seeing him in like a top hat. I'm like, my brain... I thought that was Sholmes, and then I thought it was... Like, I don't know, that's weird. I completely... Every time I learn new lore about this photo, I realize I was wrong about something that I assumed from looking at it. Why would you agree to take on such a clearly suspicious individual? Why would you agree to take on an imposter among us, Von Zeke? Lord Strongheart's orders, again. I don't know what you mean by imposter among us. He's not one for meaningless follies. There will be a good reason for his action. He's not sus. He's just elusive. Okay, but he definitely is sus, though. Like, what? The masked individual? Like, creepy masked individual? Ah! The task is complete. God damn it. I was just making jokes about him being an Among Us character, and then Von Zeke... Card swipe is complete. Good. In that case, you can do download now. Stupid. Okay. We got our Among Us jokes of the stream out of the way. Get back to work now. Prerequisite Among Us joke over. Go back. What is this? What are these bats? So creepy. That was really strange. This whole place is strange. Never met that man before. I didn't even know he existed, and yet somehow it didn't feel like our first... He's a dark version of me! He's an imposter of me! Alright, we're going back to silly mode. Don't bother trying to converse with him. He says nothing to anybody from outside of this office. Lord Strongheart is strictly forbidden. What is Lord Strongheart? How long has this guy been working for you? What's going on here? There's something... How long has this guy been working for you? I have a, like, harebrained theory. Why are you so interested in my apprentice, anyway? And what... Don't evoke Albert Harebrain's name to describe your theory. Oh no, I didn't... sorry, I didn't mean to... The way he stood there so casually, yet with that flawless posture. It couldn't be. Oh, it couldn't be who? It couldn't be who, Ryunosuke? Ah, yes, there's something I've been meaning to ask you. Oh, what's that? That Nipponese man. Is he faring well? Sorry? The one arrested twice in succession 6 months ago. With the stoop, and the mustache, and the jitters. Ha! Mr. Natsume, do you mean? I'm not sure you'd be... Aha! I'm not sure he'd be very pleased to find out you identify him as Lisbon. I don't know why I reacted that like... That was like me stifling a, like, burp. He's fine, thank you. In fact, I received a letter from him by international post only the other day. I see. Well, I think we can end our discussion there, don't you? There's little time left before tomorrow's trial. I advise you to spend it investigating the case. Yes, thank you for the advice, and for the conversation. I can't believe he's asking after Soseki-san, after a Nipponese. Not sure whether to feel happy, right? Like, what is he asking? What's his motives there? I never imagined Mr. Reaper would be friends with a mad scientist, did you? Do you? A mad scientist? Ah, you mean Professor Hairbrain? Yes, it might be worth quizzing the professor about his relationship with Lord Von Zeeks, I think. So we're out of topics for you, right? Yeah. Okay, the conversation's over, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to examine every inch of your office. Look at that fine collection of hollowed chalices and bottles neatly lined up there. My hollowed bottles are filled with the essence of the finest grapes from the finest vineyards I visit. And I personally oversee these chalices being made with by the finest crystal craftsmen in the world. Okay, all that detail, all that work, and then he just, like, throws them and breaks them constantly during the trial. That's good. That's funny. And yet you throw them around in court like they were worthless. Yes, because this imbecile is so unimaginably and repeatedly wide of the mark sometimes. Your conversations in court piss me off so much that I break all of my stuff in anger. Before you open your mouth next time, you should consider the poor artisans whose work you defile. Okay, the added hollowed chalice lore just makes that gag even funnier. It's like the finest glasses and the finest bottles, and every time he goes into court with me, he gets so pissed that he breaks all his... That's good. I like that. Lord Von Zeeks' desk, look. It's so stylish. Chess. It's the Western version of our Japanese shogi game, is it? I actually didn't know that. Shogi is chess? I'd love to challenge Lord Von Zeeks to a bout of shogi bros. If you only really want to challenge yourself, you can always do that on your own at home. Is that Von Zeeks? That portrait really dominates the room, doesn't it? Oh my god. Oh my god! Hot! Oh my god, wood. It's a very majestic outfit and pose. But sadly, whoever painted it didn't do a very good job of capturing Lord Von Zeeks'... They made him hotter than he is in real life. Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's not far off, but the artist... The artist has exaggerated his subject's handsomeness. They weren't... I love when they just say the joke out loud that I just said. I heard Emperor Napoleon of France ordered artists to make him look more attractive when they painted him. How vain. That's not really an attractive quality in a person, isn't it? Wouldn't! That portrait does not depict me. Surely that's immediately obvious. Wait, it's not you? Who is it? Also, I'm not sure how I feel about you being like, oh, that they made him more handsome. Okay, I'm getting back to work now. Please leave. Why does he have like a display? Ooh, look! It's a scale model of the Great Exhibition Showground. That's amazing. I wonder why it's here. Perhaps he made it to take his mind off the sadness of being too busy to attend in person? Or perhaps he's too embarrassed to queue up for a ticket. I'm right here! It's obvious that I'm using it as an investigative aid! Ah! Your Nipponese have no business painting others as overly reserved. I really didn't think he'd overhear that. It's not like I attempted to... Oh, this room has three different camera angles. Oh!
Oh! Jump scare. Actual jump scare. I didn't expect that to have an animation. They were bats.
Yes, the Reaper's familiars, I'd expect.
What about the mute man in the dark cloak? I thought he was the familiar. Just not the flying kind.
He must be a dear friend. We've already established who he is, but okay.
Can we talk to him?
Really looks like a punishment to me. I've never seen someone sitting like that before. He hasn't moved a muscle since we arrived. Do you think perhaps he's dead? If he was dead, Bruno, he wouldn't be sitting up, would he?
Well, anyway, dead or alive, he's not overly approachable, is he? I don't think he's going to talk to us.
He's not dead. Why would you think he's dead? Does he look like someone who's dead that you met?
Look at all those ancient casks lining the wall
there. Casks in the Reaper's chamber? Or are they caskets?
Okay, those are barrels. Those are barrels, but he used the word casks so they could do this pun. Let's keep going. They're not, what ridiculous notions are going through your head, man? That is my collection of fine vintages. Those are barrels. You could call them casks, but not caskets. Why would I have the bodies of every single person who escaped court in my office? Do you know how much that would smell? Are you stupid? Wait, don't answer that. I already knew the answer. Thank you for clearing that up.
Bruno and I were just musing to ourselves. Don't mind us, Mr. Reaper.
Please leave my office now. Go away. What did I just click on? Alright, let's get out of here before the Reaper reaps us.
Reaper! Overwatch! Reaper!
Die, die, die. I feel like, I'm surprised I haven't made a Reaper joke yet. October, local prison, cell 11. The warden said cell 11. That's this one.
Oh! There's someone curled up in a ball in the back corner, look!
What's his name again? Professor Albert Hairbrain, was it? Excuse me, Professor Hairbrain. Silly time. It's silly time.
Who are you? Oh, who are you?
I'm Rianovsky Noir. Oh, lawyer! I didn't even get to that part of the line yet. What the...
A lawyer, you say? What do we hear about the experiment? Are you going to defend my hypothesis?
Your hypothesis? Sorry, I don't...
Yesterday's demonstration! That demonstration was... that magnificent demonstration was... It was an out-and-out success!
He doesn't need to be German. I can do... I have, like... There are at least 5 different silly voices I could use for this character, waiting in the works. Maybe that's a bit of an exaggeration. Maybe more like at most 5.
It was an out-and-out success! By anyone's calculations! But despite that, no one listens! No lawyer believes in the science. When it's explained, they all leave at high velocity! Ah! Ah!
The silly music is playing now, like... You mentioned the demonstration yesterday.
The papers have called it a spectacular failure. After all, a man died in the explosion, didn't he? Ah! Yes, you could interpret the results that way if you really wanted to. Well, I suppose in the strictest sense, the experiment was a failure, but at the same time, it was a great success.
You've lost me.
I saw it with my own eyes, right there in front of me. Mr. Asmund was spontaneously disassembled. Until then, everything was going exactly as my calculations had predicted. At that point, he should have been beamed to the Crystal Tower by instantaneous kinesis.
However, the machine exploded and Mr. Asmund in fact perished.
Yes, I can't deny that part of the experiment was a failure. So what you're really saying is the large explosion that killed Mr. Asmund was an accident, correct? But the bigwigs had you arrested on suspicion of murder. I was responsible for the man's death. That is the immutable truth here. And for that I wish to be punished at once. Murder? Never in a million years. It was an accident. Simply an accident. I see. Hurley and I were talking this morning, you know. He said the situation would change completely depending on whether it was treated as an accident or murder. Ooh, are they gonna establish the, like, difference in lore between accidents and murder? Because we've actually, like, handled multiple cases across these two games where the incident was an accident. Where the incident was more of an accident than it was a murder. Like, Joan Garadib thing was an accident. And granted, she also probably got charged for, like, domestic abuse, so, or, like, assault. So that's like a separate charge. She's got multiple charges going on there. Well, if it really was an accident, then the professor's machine would be kept in protective custody. On what ground? Oh, she's just talking about how the situation would have changed, or would change for his research, not for, like, legally. Ah, yes, it's newly established here in Britain. The Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act. That one passed me by. But if the case is treated as murder, then they'll say my machine was the murder weapon, and they'll be able to pour over it as much as they like. If they examine it in detail, they'll find out how it's made, and then they'll be able to copy my idea. My precious hypothesis will be stolen. The machine must be protected from that at all costs. That's why it's imperative this whole incident is shown to have been an accident in tomorrow's trial. This music. My silly, funny scientist man. So in short, there was a terrible accident at the Great Exhibition Showground yesterday. Yes! Or rather, no. The devil is in the details. Strictly speaking, there was a terrible explosion. You were demonstrating Wait. I said there was a terrible accident. The explosion was the accident, yes. You were demonstrating super high voltage instantaneous kinesis, weren't you? How fascinating. Humans, like all matter, are made up of particles that are held together by electrical bonds. So it must be possible, using a sufficiently high voltage, to break those bonds and beam the particles through space! That's it in a nutshell. That's my idea, you see. That's my amazing hypothesis! Gosh, that's unimaginably high-level science. I mean, if the guy really did, like, break apart and then the machine exploded, then technically, like, part one of his hypothesis is correct. Weird. Oh, but dare to imagine it. Dare to dream of such incredible technology. I mean, unless the machine does it by, like, weird. I need to see a video replay of whatever. Just think. One moment I could be here in this cell, and the next I could be at the Great Exhibition again. Well, yes, that would be incredible. And the next, in a mere blink of an eye, I could be at the Great Parisian Theatre, say. The possibilities are endless. The whole of our vast planet would be within reach. So no more hiding in wardrobes on rocky seas for 50 days? That would be nice. I don't really see it like that. What do you mean, Iris? Well, if you could travel anywhere in the world instantly, the planet wouldn't really seem vast anymore, would it? I think it would feel like it had shrunk. My word! That's exactly right! What are the implications? What does this mean? Oops, that's got Professor Bunny Brain really worried by the look of it. The hair. Is the hair I feel like that's a wig, and I feel like it's going to come off at some point. And it will be a very funny, silly stream moment that I will clip later because nobody will be in chat to clip it.
Clearly, this is yet another case of just because you can doesn't mean you should, I suppose. The point is, my calculations are flawless! The science works! But without a practical demonstration, it means nothing! And that's always the fly in the ointment. Because practical demonstration costs a lot of money. Money that young scientists like you don't have. That's exactly it, yes. How were this guy and Von Zeke's friends? I'm curious about that. Hurley's always complaining about it. He says the government should invest more in science. Well, anyway, I bumped into him at the right time. I met the well-known investor, Mr. Asman. The victim who died in yesterday's terrible accident, you mean? The victim. We'll talk about the Reaper in a minute. The full name of the man who died in yesterday's accident was Mr. Odie Asman, wasn't it? What exactly was your relationship with the man? Odie Asman. Odie Asman? I guess I would say Odie Asman. Odie Asman. That sounds more obvious fun-wise. He first visited me in my laboratory in Germany a year ago now. He said he wanted to invest in my immaculate hypothesis. I thanked my lucky stars. I see. So you hadn't really known each other until then. Money for scientific research. I'm so envious. As far as I'm concerned, the man was an angel. Oh, really? An archangel, even. I was prepared to fund a practical demonstration of my hypothesis for presentation at the Great Exhibition. This guy's animations are like, what is this face? So kind of Psychonauts energy from this guy, to be honest. I should play more of that game. And if that went well, I could expect additional financial support for my research from the British government. Oh. Mr. Asman provided me with money and an exceptional engineer. Sorry, I got a little too hooked on something there. He produced a machine to my precise specifications. But then your dreams were blown to dust in one enormous explosion. As you can see, I owed everything to Mr. Asman. I would never, ever have thought of taking the man's life. Well, he seems genuine enough. I don't think he's lying. Alright, let's talk about the Reaper then. I understand Lord Von Zeeks is a friend of yours from university days? Yes, that's right. He was studying law whilst I was studying science. What was he like back then? A good question. Unassuming, gentlemanly, an all-round nice fellow, really. Sorry, I think you misheard me. I'm talking about the cold-hearted, merciless prosecutor Barack Von Zeeks. What was he like when he was at university? So unwood. Talk about a leading question, Bruno. As I said, an unassuming and extremely pleasant gentleman. After all, he is the little darling of the Von Zeeks family, with all its great aristocratic origins. Oh, the giant artwork on the wall is like his dad or something. Interesting. I didn't realize he had quite such noble blood. Little darling? It was a bit of a shock when I came back to Britain and learned what he'd become. The Reaper of the Bailey, no yes. Yes, that's right. I did hear that there was a very big event in his life that completely changed him after graduation. What sort of event? I'm sorry, but I don't know anymore. I wasn't in the country at the time. I was in Germany already. If he's heard all about the Reaper, I really don't have the heart to tell him that Lord Von Zeeks will be the prosecutor in court tomorrow. So, Professor, let me just make absolutely sure I've understood you properly. The huge explosion that occurred yesterday, that was an accident, you're saying. You no intent to harm the victim, who was in fact the sole investor in your work, is that correct? As correct as 2 squared is 4. I swear it! And barely the platypus. It's dangerously close. Yes, it's true that the man perished in a machine of my invention.
So I know that I'm far from blameless in all this, but still, I would never use my discoveries, my inventions, to take a person's life, not in a centillion years. I'm a man of science, it's all I know. You have to believe me, please. Do you believe me? Do you believe in my hypothesis? Science is the pursuit of truth, you know. I've always believed that all my life. I'm afraid I don't know much about science, or your theories, but I do believe you, and I will fight to prove your innocence with all my might. See, if I could have come here first and then went to Von Zieks, but then I would have had to come back here to do this text box. This like the Von Zieks text box. So, I picked the right order to do things. I'm a man of the law. It's all I know. You have to believe me, please. I will prove your innocence with all my might. When I went to live in Germany after I graduated, I learned something very important. Nationality, class, lineage, none of that matters. As long as you try your hardest, you can achieve anything. Thank you for that, Professor. And thank you in advance for defending me tomorrow in court. Alright, Bruno. It's time. Time to visit the Great Exhibition. I forgot we were doing that today. I mean, I guess that's where the crime scene was, so we actually do have a reason to go there, beyond just wanting to visit. Well, it's where the incident happened. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, streamer. That's where the incident. Move into the experimentation. Investigating the crime scene. 22nd October. The Great Exhibition Grounds. Foot of the Crystal Tower. Ugh. Showgrounds are a little big for my liking. We've been walking around in dense crowds for 2 hours now, and I've felt myself swooning 3 times. There are a lot of people, aren't there? I've almost been trodden on 3 times, too. Be careful, won't you, Iris? Don't let go of my hand. I'm literally babysitting her. Because she's like, she's as smart as the adults, but like, she's not really like, she's not as mature as we still kind of have to like, bring her around with us. Like, somebody has to bring her around with us, usually. Here we are underneath the public experimentation stage where the explosion happened yesterday. I don't know what's that? What is that noise? I can hear voices from over there. Oh, wait. Let's go. I get to chew on camera. I'm out with you this time. I'm warning you, I'll arrest you in a minute. Oh yeah? Go on then, Spectre, give it a shot. You ain't got no evidence and you know it. Wait, I know those voices. You've got a cheeky little mouth on you, young lady. I'm in charge here, but the night in the cells will teach you some manners. Just try it, I dare you. If you want that bag of chips rammed down your throat. Hold on, I have to finish chewing all the bites I just comedically. Hold on. I rammed it down my throat, as she said. Why did I say that? Those are not words I should have said out loud. Yoo-hoo! Gracie! That is not how I should describe eating food. Yoo-hoo! Gracie! What are you doing up there? Ah! Ah! Oof! It's you! Yeah! Your ladyship! Your ladyship! How are you, your ladyship? I do hope you're well, your ladyship. Alright. All the... Gina Lestrade's gotta show up, like, every, like, 2 cases or so. I'm not well at all. It's far too busy everywhere. I wanted to ride in a balloon, but there was a 3-hour queue. Unbelievable. I'll go and have a word for you at once, your ladyship. You'll be flying high as a kite in no time once I pull some strings for you. Tobias Gregson, the inspector at Scotland Yard. Until recently,
he was suspended from duty. But it would appear he's back in action. That's right, he got suspended from duty after the last case, after the end of the first game too. That's why the first 2 cases of this second game have been a you're playing as Susato in Japan case and a flashback case. Is because half the people involved in the last case got like suspended from working for a little while for like messing up. He's actually quite well known, appearing as he does in the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. Okay, wait a minute. I've never thought of this. So the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes in this universe is like the Sherlock Holmes books, but they exist in this universe as like a periodical like newspaper thing based on real events. Is Tobias Gregson a like Sherlock Holmes book character? Because that name's not a pun. So I'm guessing that's like an actual book character from the books. Greatly expanded upon. And for that reason, he can't say a word wrong to the story's author. Yeah, Iris writes the like little adventures in this universe, and she writes them as like a periodical. So he tries to appear on his best behavior to her at all the time. But there are limits, surely. Well, there should be. Watch it, Sunshine! I don't need you explaining my entire life to the audience like that. Don't tell me you're on this case. Yes, I'm acting for the defense. So we're here to investigate. Yeah, me. That's the situation. Blimey! That's the situation, isn't it? Is it really that troubling? Tisk, a measly 5 bob. Is that all you got? You're a lawyer, ain't you? You could stand to carry a bit more copper around in your pockets, Mr. Naruto. What? Hey, that's my last bit of spending money, that is. I feel like every time this character reappears, the voice I'm doing for her gets more, like, distinct. I don't know, I don't know, I've only read, like, 2 lines of dialogue. I just feel like I'm getting better at giving her, like, a voice and an accent. You can have it back, but I'll have to charge you all for all the bother. 3 bob. Gino Lestrade, a pickpocket or diver, born and bred in the East End of London. In the case that led to my own suspension 6 months ago, this is the young girl I was defending in court. What's your problem, Odo? Diver? Pickpocket? What's with all the name calling? And why are you like, who are you explaining who I am to? Who are you talking to? I like that implies that all of this dialogue where he explains who they are, like, is happening right now. Like, he just, like, turns to the side. He just, like, turns, like, to the right, towards no one, and it's just like, this is Gino Lestrade, a pickpocket or diver, born and bred in the East End of London. In the case that led to my own suspension 6 months ago, this is the young girl I was talking about. Who the hell are you talking to? You want a bag of chips rammed down your throat after all, do ya? I thought you were proud to be a diver, Gina. You were just arguing with the inspector about it, weren't you? Hey, I assumed you'd been up to your usual tricks here. But that ain't no way to talk to a lady, Odo. Half a year's a long time. People can change. I'm an apprentice now, learning to be a Scotland Yard detective. Wait, she's his apprentice? Oh, interesting. Okay. Oh yeah, Gino Lestrade is like to help with Sherlock with his investigations. I mean, that's what she's another Sherlock Holmes character. Her name is not a. You can tell they're characters from something else if their name isn't a pun. And so you'll have to call me what everyone else does. It's Inspector Lestrade now. That's right. I'm not a nefarious ne'er-do-well who happens to help sometimes, like I am in the books. I'm a little inspector now. The inspector part isn't entirely accurate. No one calls her that. For what it's worth, anyway. Investigating is off the cards for all of us. What's that supposed to mean? Right, well, I'll be back up top. You're the fault down here, alright? Is he, like, working off the clock? Is he still, like, relieved of his duties legally, and he's just kind of, like, sneaking around and investigating with her? That's kind of funny. I like this team up. This is a cool team up. I did not expect this. These two were very hostile towards each other in the previous cases, but it's cool that they're. I mean, it seems like they're still kind of hostile, but this raises a lot of questions. Gina Lestrade. Turns to the left away from her again. It was 8 months ago now that I first encountered Gina in connection with a case I was working on. At the time, she was living in the East End with a group of other orphans. She helped all of them survive by pickpocketing, but then she got embroiled in a murder. Who the hell are you talking to? Why are you looking, Odo? What are you looking at over there? Are you okay, Mr. Naruto? You got something going wrong up there in your head? I had a lot of time to think in prison. I realized I couldn't go on like I was. The diving weren't working out. Oh, I'm so pleased to hear it, Ginny. Well done. So, you went from being a pickpocket to a detective? You got it. Good, innit? Inspector Lestrade. Sounds like something out of a book, huh? Hey, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Talk about turns to the left again. Talk about a sea change. Stop doing that. You're freaking me out. There's Iris's old man to think about, too. Iris's father, you mean? Yeah, I promised her, didn't I? I said I'd get all the police forces around the world to put out all the stops looking for him. Just a small promise, then. Nothing serious. I like that I already know her father is... Like, her father was the victim of the first case of the first game. And I haven't told her or Gina. So they just like... Oh, Ginny, you're so sweet. So anyway, that's how I come out of go for... What? So anyway, that's how... Her accent is very strongly written in the dialogue. So anyway, that's how come out of go with the test for Scotland Yard. Only trouble is I don't read so well, do I? Just a small problem, nothing serious. And that's when Hurley approached Gregson and asked for help. So the inspector said he'd take full responsibility for Ginny and make her sort of apprentice. Aw, that's really, yeah, that was very magnanimous of Inspector Gregson. Very nice of him. Very, like, generous. I like that, that's sweet. Also, brave, yeah. And brave. Well, you know Hurley. He enjoys finding ways to make people do what he wants. Okay, so maybe he didn't do it for sweet reasons. So the long and short of it is, if you got questions about the case, you can ask Inspector Lestrade. Right then, Inspector. Actually, there's still a big mystery surrounding Gina, isn't there? Ooh, what, Bruno, what? Okay, normally the blue text means I'm talking in my head, but sometimes they just respond to the blue text as if I'm saying it out loud. So I'm starting to like this headcanon that what Ryunosuke thinks is in his own head is just him, like, turning to the side away from everyone and saying something at full volume. That is what it feels like sometimes. 6 months ago, Gina was the defendant in a trial prosecuted by the Reaper. A trial in which she was found not guilty, and yet here she is still. Come on! You're not still on about that, are you? And stop looking over there. There's nothing over there. Look me in the eyes when you're talking. Look me in the eyes if you're going to talk about me. God, don't have a worry, Mr. Naruto. If I didn't half worry, there probably wouldn't be a whole lot of you left. Christ. It's like I told you before, innit? The Reaper's kind of like him upstairs. So he knows what I'm like on the inside. But I ain't really done nothing wrong. Nothing wrong might be stretching a point. What about Mr. Natsume in Japan? He's perfectly fine, isn't he? Well, that's true. Perhaps the Reaper is more discerning than I thought. Exactly. So I ain't worried. I'm totally fine. Yesterday's incident. Cool. It was out of this world, it was. The blaney bloke put a bunch of levers on his machine, and suddenly it started billowing smoke. And it just went pop! I ain't seen a better experiment here yet. Sorry? You mean you saw it, Jenny, with your own eyes? Yeah, of course. The boss is in charge here, ain't he? Of keeping everything running smooth, I mean. The boss being Inspector Gregson, I suppose. It's gonna take some getting used to. So all I have to say is that I'm on duty, and I can do whatever I want to. Get this! I was up in one of them flying balloons when it happened, watching it from above.
Remember when the game explained what a hot air balloon was earlier? Yeah, there you go. Maybe I should join Scotland Yard too. That sounds fun. Yeah, do it. You know how to put the boss in his place already, right, Iris? You'd have no trouble at all. Then it's settled. Where do I start? None of you are actually... You can't join Scotland Yard, Iris. We'll see. Anyway, what I don't understand is this. If the machine exploded so spectacularly, how can Professor Bunnybrain still be claiming that his experiment was a success? I hope that she's just gonna call that guy Professor Bunnybrain now. Like, okay. Alright. Well, it was a success. In a way. It was? How could it have been? The same reason the Hairbrain was... Bunnybrain was talking about? Surely after the whole machine blew up, no one could call the experiment a success. It's like I said, it did sort of work. I mean, yeah, there was a load of smoke and the whopping great bang. But where do you think they found the victim's body, eh? In the crystal tower over there. The body was in the tower? What? What? Oh, this case is gonna be cracked out. How did he get there? Because there's no way it was a teleporting machine. Okay, this is wild. Alright, this is gonna be a wild one. This is what, like, in a way, oh my goodness, this is a good one. I like this one. This is gonna be a good one. Let's go! Ah, let's go! I'm not gonna pull up that audio again, but... Yeah, the cage what the victim got in to start with. It did get beamed through the air or whatever and landed all the way over there. So, you see, it did kind of work, didn't it? What? I don't believe it. Like, I actually don't believe it. I mean, I don't get the ins and outs of it, but anything's possible, right? With science. Oh, I tell you what, you can have this. Oh, it's a plan of the experiment they drew up at the yard. Are you sure? Yeah, go on. The books of... I had 3 bob off you before, so fair is fair. Yeah, I didn't actually give that to you, did I? She's still a pickpocket. She just works with the cops now. It's funny. Something Inspector Gregson said before seemed a little strange. He doesn't even work with the cops anymore. Like, they're all off. He's off the book and just, like, teaching her. Yeah. The deal he probably made was, sure, I'll take Gina Lestrade as an apprentice, and in exchange, maybe you can help me get my job back. Like, for what it's worth anyway, investigating is off the cards for all of us. Because he, like, mega tampered with evidence in that case. In the last case of the first game. He was like trying to tamper with evidence while on the witness stand. Like, he really should not have his job back if he doesn't already. Yes, naughty old Gregsy ran after that without explaining himself. Alright, that. The boss said no one's allowed to investigate that weird machine what blew up yesterday. Well, that's not fair. We're representing the defendant. In that case, could you at least tell us what you've learned? Or maybe, I guess he does work for Scotland Yard already. They gave him his job back pretty quickly. He's a cop after all. Nah, you're not getting it. We ain't allowed to investigate neither. What did the boss call them again? The Forensic Investigation Team, I think? Anyway, apart from them lot, no one's else allowed to lay a finger on the scene, is it? Bit funny, isn't it? Oh, the forensics thing that Strongheart was talking about. He's using this case to, like, test out their work. Weird. I thought I could have a gander on the quiet though, but the boss caught me at it. He probably heard him giving me an earful about it from down. It's not bleeding fair. I thought you were giving him as much as an earful back, as I remember. Yeah, well, sometimes I think it's all them chips what make him so stubborn. Just say something to him, Nodo. Go on, see if you can get through to him. He's up on the platform above us, is he? Where the machine that exploded is? We can try it, can't we, Bruno? Gregsy will listen to us. Or rather, Gregsy will listen to me. Okay, what is this? Is this like explosion residue down here? What is this? For some reason, the ground is damaged in this spot. Look. Almost as if there were a fire here. Yes, if you look closely, there's some scattered ash and burnt embers, too. Well, I suppose there was a big explosion just above here. So, the tower that the teleported guy was on is, like, way up there, and there's a hole in the glass way up...
Did the guy's body get, like, launched somehow from the thing, like, through the air to the... This is gonna be a freaking weird case. Oh my god. People probably wouldn't bat an eyelid at a small fire like this. Like, what the hell? Like, whatever happened here, it's gonna be, like, beyond strange. Von Zeeks is going to break many glasses.
I'm not sure we English are quite that laid back, Bruno.
What is this?
Ah, it looks as though somebody dropped something behind the tree just there.
Dropped or hid? No, tell me that's not like a catapult or something. Some part of the machine that exploded?
Maybe. It could have fallen off the platform from the blast, perhaps.
What's going on here? That's such a cute little sprite. I like that. What's going on here? Oh, nothing. I think I'll just hang on to this. I'm like pickpocketing stuff from the crime scene too. The Crystal Tower. It's certainly an apt name. It was built to be the focal point of the exhibition, and it definitely is, being so tall and with all that glass. Can't imagine a building like this ever being erected in Japan.
There were lots of exhibits inside the tower as well, apparently. Of course, there's an observation deck, but there's also an art gallery, a zoo, and a museum.
A zoo? There's a zoo in there? Okay, that's gotta be like a 19th century, the animals have 2 feet of space to walk around, kind of like unethical zoo.
I heard you have to queue for 3 hours just to get through the doors. Thanks to that accident, the whole tower is shut.
Suddenly it's not the Crystal Tower anymore, but the Crystal Glass Shower. And then I just get like blank stares from Ginny and Iris for like 10 seconds.
Apparently, everyone's taking to the skies now to look down on the disaster area from above instead. But there's a 3-hour queue to go up on a balloon now.
Londoners must be very patient people. So now this exhibition is like, instead of being like a cool thing, it's like a, like this weird, like, now the cool thing is like, whoa, let's see what happened. Speaking of what happened, there's an up arrow? I've never seen a place that I could examine having an up arrow before. Okay, interesting. H and N to look around. Weird. They like get different buttons. But usually it's like, I think it's like B and M usually. Like it's like kind of a weird like second WASD keys. It's like B and M is left and right, but now it's H and N are up and down. Not that I ever use the like keyboard commands for that, but I just noticed it because it like the icon like moved from here to here to make way for the button. It's so much easier to just click the button. So what the hell is this? That's where the cove ended up after this instant kinesis or whatever they call it. Dead, of course. And yet they're calling the experiment a success? What's the wooden scaffold there for? The coppers.
Ah, lads. Set that up after the incident happened. To get the body down, I think. Don't know, really.
So he was just in the middle of this, like, glass tower? What the hell? Didn't you help to erect the scaffold, then?
Nah, lookout duties, Mum, I think. Wandering around the exhibition and keeping a lookout for the fun stuff.
Mind Gregson doesn't hear you saying that, or he'll give you the boot. It's incredible, isn't it? I mean, could the victim really have bridged that gap by some sort of invisible kinesis? Yeah, okay, so the experiment happened over here, and somehow the body ended up over here. Oh boy. It's gonna be a weird one. Because I highly doubt it's actual teleportation, but I'm sure whatever happened is, like, probably 5 times more, like, insane and illogical. This platform must have been set up for the experiment, I suppose. So, I can just imagine Von Zeeks in his office going over the files, like, alright, so it was part of a... He died in a teleporter explosion, but his body was in the tower. Oh, no. What the hell? Ugh. And he just grabs one of his bottles. This platform must have been set up for the experiment, I suppose. It's very high up.
About 30 feet above the ground, apparently. That's what a policeman I just spoke to said. I don't really understand feet very well. They don't use them in Japan. Oh yes, sorry. It's about 9 meters. Soon you'll have been in London a year, Runo. It's time you get used to our measurements. Until they then become meters later in the timeline. There's a saying in Japan, the darkest spot is right under the lighthouse. I feel like it probably applies here. Oh, I gotta investigate this. Those stairs obviously lead to the stage above. We should go up there. Oh, okay, that's how I book it up there. 22nd October. The Great Exhibition Grounds Experimentations. Why is my chair, like, weird slow to shoot in? Scoot in? So that's it, is it? The machine that blew up. William and Turner. Oh, it must have been a magnificent explosion, and I've seen my fair share. You've seen things like this before, you mean? Of course! Hurley's always doing experiments that end in a bang. In fact, in his own words, explosions are the very essence of chemistry. Ah, that might explain the smell of burning that frequently comes wafting up the stairs. One time he made something that exploded with such force it took the roof off the building. Wish you'd been there to see it, Runo. It's hard to get too excited about that, given that I now live in the roof. Well, anyway, that's enough about that. Time to investigate. Oh, look, Inspector Gregson is over there. Really? Ah, let's go talk to him. I didn't want to read the rest of that text. It ripped itself apart magnificently, didn't it? What? No, I clicked on Gregson, not the machine. Magnificently and mercilessly. So someone stands in the middle of the machine to be disassembled and then beamed through the air. Yes, beamed, not blasted. That's the point. I feel like, I wonder if the explosion launched the body over there. That's the, simple explanation. But I feel like whatever actually happened is going to be far weirder. Is something like that even possible, though, Iris? Oh, Runo, I'm just a child. How should I know? A child when it suits you, you mean? From what I can tell, I think if you were to pull this here thing... Stop! Don't touch that! Ah, that was practically instantaneous kinesis the way you flew over just now, Gregsy. Please, your ladyship. I didn't mean to startle you, but I can't let you touch anything up here. Oh, so sorry. You can have some of my latest special blend to make up for it. Ah, wonderful. This stuff really is wonderful. It's just like old times, this is. We're representing Professor Harebrained in court tomorrow, so we should be allowed to examine the scene. Ah! Listen, Sunshine, even I'm not allowed to touch anything up here. That blasted special dispensation for scientific equipment, act to blame. Driving me potty. It's driving me potty. Okay. Ah, yes, that special dispensation. The professor mentioned that, too. More red tape's all we need. I don't know what the government thinks it's playing at sometimes. But we're allowed to just look, aren't we? Surely that's alright, isn't it, Gregson? Of course, your ladyship. Anything you say, your ladyship. But please don't get your dainty hands dirty, will you? Don't worry. We wouldn't dream of touching anything, would we, Bruno? She really knows how to get what she wants. Bum-bum. Bunum. Bum-bum. Bunum. Bum-bum. Bunum. Government policy, special dispensation, Professor Harebrained. Apparently Professor Harebrained lives and works in Germany now, conducting his research. That's right. Came back to Britain especially for the Great Exhibition, as I understand it. Probably after one of the government's research grounds. Actually, we learned something else about the professor earlier today. About his time in education, further education. Turns out he was at a university with someone we both know. Lord Von Zeeks. Eh? What's that? It's news to me. But if Von Zieg's managed the prosecution, then as the accused, the professor's fate is sealed. Because the Reaper will get to him one way or another. Blimey, that man's beyond me. I don't know what goes on in that head of his. Talking of Van Zeeks, this morning's paper ran the story of him being attacked. Read that? Oh yes, but Mr. Reaper is completely fine. There's nothing to worry. It's interesting because I'm not exactly sure if the Reaper being attacked case is connected to this case. Well, I mean, obviously it is somewhat, but it's like, are we going to solve the how does the Reaper's attack factor in? Is it more to set up later plot lines, or is it directly linked with solving this case? I don't know. Either way, it's interesting. It's a nice connecting the crazy teleporter nonsense to characters that we actually care about is good writing. The Reaper, huh? How long's that business gonna keep up, I wonder? The victim of this case, the investor, Mr. Asman. He was another of the Reaper's victims, or so I heard. Lord Barak von Zeeks is a top-class prosecutor, but even he can't always push the right verdict through. Sometimes justice can't win. Yes, I've heard about jurors being bribed and evidence being falsified, and that's how the notion of the Reaper of the Bailey came about, isn't it? Obviously, Scotland Yard suspected Van Zeeks initially. They all assumed he was taking matters into his own hands if he failed to seal the deal in court, although the man himself denies that charge. Well, we've done a very thorough investigation, and the conclusion we reached is that Lord Von Zeeks is in no way related to the deaths of those people outside the courtroom. There's no question in my mind. I'd stake my reputation on it, I would. But if that's true, then how do you explain it? All those defendants couldn't have just coincidentally died if nobody killed them. I know that, but I can't explain it. It's a mystery after all, isn't it? That's the whole point of the Reaper. But isn't solving mysteries the whole point of your job? Shut up! Professor Harebrain mentioned something else. He said that at university, Lord Von Zeeks was a totally different person. Easygoing and kind. What? They said that it was after they both graduated that something happened to change the man. Do you have any idea what it was? No clue. Really? Look, I got my hands full watching over this frustrating crime scene. Why don't you go and make a nuisance of yourself elsewhere, eh? Does he actually have no clue, or does he just not want to talk about it? Oh, we can change the topic. Using the high voltage electricity to somehow disassemble a man's body, and then beam him across to the Crystal Tower. It's an extraordinary thing to attempt, especially in public. True, it's by far the most unusual of the experiments planned for the exhibition, mind. To be honest, I'm a bit surprised it was allowed. Carrying out something so dangerous with so many spectators present, I mean. The government's doing everything it can to promote new science and technology at the moment. I'm more worried about being the head of the game than the old spot of public safety infringements. If that can be the first to develop some new technology, makes Britain more powerful in the future, you see. Yes, I suppose that's true, in a way. So the powers that be are placing a heavy emphasis on scientist rights at the moment. What sort of rights? They are making it so that any theories the brains have remain their legal property, as it were. Right through developing it into a practical idea and even going into production. Which is an infuriating reason us coppers aren't allowed to touch this crime scene. The new highfalutin and special dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act forbids it. Ah, I see now. The only people with permission to investigate here are from some brand new department at the yard. The Forensic Investigation Team, it's called. They've been relegated to keeping guard. The Forensic Investigation Team. Any old fool can see that this heap of scrap metal was a sham to begin with. But just because it says scientific equipment on the paperwork, we can't do a flaming thing with it. poor Gregsy. He's very head up, heat up. That's heated up. That's a weird typo. Special dispensation. You having me at it, Sunshine. It's the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act. I've said the name of it at least 3 times already. Yes, I think Hurley mentioned that recently. The real twinkle in his eyes, I remember. Oh, I'm sure he did, your ladyship. I'm sure he did. And I'm definitely not mocking you. Especially for this great exhibition it was. All scientists have to produce is present their ideas to some suits in the civil service, and if it gets rubber stamped, that's a guarantee of rights to maintain the invention's confidentiality. What does that really mean? And without the, passive-aggressive sarcasm? Think about it. Think of all the world-changing new inventions on display every day at this exhibition. Although a good half of them are a load of gobblers, if you ask me. Put forward by shammers like yourself. Thanks for that. Oh, I love how absurd some of the inventions here are. It's also fun. It might be fun to you, but a member of the force has to be present at every single demonstration. Can you imagine, eh? Hang science is what I say. Oh, I don't think so. That sounds like my dream job. You'd soon think otherwise after spending a day guarding all these shammers as bogus contraptions. But if they're all bogus, how can anyone hope to demonstrate them? There'd be no point. Yeah, well, there is a point, sadly. I wish I could say it was completely pointless, but thanks to another one of our government's broad ideas, if any theory or invention is deemed to show potential, the government hands out a research grant. The scientists get funding? Exactly, and that's what they're all after. All these shammers coming from far and wide to clog up Hyde Park. And who has to keep them all safe, eh? Who has to smile politely and welcome them? Us coppers, that's who. You can see why I say it now, can't you? Hang science! Hang it! Oh, maybe I can see your point. What is this? As a detective, what do you make of this? Personally speaking, 9 times out of 10, I find clues turn out to be red herrings. So there's every chance that's totally irrelevant. Oh, okay. Alright, so where's the 1 out of 10 clue that he actually cares about? Inspector, have you read this paper? We really are just presenting the paper to everyone. Yeah, 2 welcome, unwelcome blasts back to back. This one with the exhibition and the Reaper getting attacked. Yeah. Very chewy bite. Very chewy bite of chips, isn't it? I don't know, terrible news to wake up to, isn't it? Tried to pretend I hadn't read it and turned over for another 40 winks. Thanks to that, I was decked up and got a roasting from the soup. Some mornings are like that, ain't they? Useless. Alright, let's examine the rest of the crime scene. Or, what we can examine, you know? There are all sorts of strange buildings here, aren't there? I seem to remember something similar being exhibited in Japan. Oh, in your country, Bruno? I do wish I could go and see it. I present a particularly steely samurai with a present of one of Hurley's steel samurai. Oh, let's go! Oh. Does that sound any different in the mic, or is that just... I'd present a particularly steel... I don't care about this dialogue, come on. Let's go. Oh, well that's dull. Why are you skipping all the dialogue? I want to meet a John Mage! John Mage! Okay, where's William and Turner? I guess that's not important. What is that gigantic thing over there? Oh, that's a Ferris wheel. There'll be people riding inside all those little cabins you can see. Why? Well, they rotate nice and slowly, so it's a wonderful way to see the surrounding scenery. Wait, it's turning? But it looks completely still. No, it doesn't. Look, it's moving. Yeah, that's because it's turning so slowly. One complete revolution takes about half an hour.
If you were mad enough to go in one, it would be more fun to whiz around fast, don't you think?
I feel as though you might have just invented a new sort of ride there, Runo. Wink, wink.
Oh, there's another up arrow? Okay. My God, the up and down arrows here. So those are people carrying balloons, dangling silently in the skies over London. I always thought the day would come when humans would discover how to fly. But I never imagined it would involve them being suspended from colorful floating Tamari handles. Tamari handle? I don't know what that means.
I'm sure it must feel amazing being up there among the clouds. Let's take a ride together, Runo, please.
I'm perfectly honest, I would like to try it, but without a cast iron guarantee that the thing won't plummet to the ground, I'm too scared.
Oh, well, in that case, I should tell you what Hurley said. It's physically impossible for a flying balloon to plummet to the ground, as long as it doesn't explode.
Yeah, call me crazy. I think that exploding part might play on my mind a little. That amazing horn-shaped device is pointing towards the Crystal Tower. Suppose once people are disassembled by the machine, they're shot out of that thing to wherever they're going?
I don't think it was supposed to shoot anything, Runo. It was set up to beam people to the Crystal Tower, where they'd be reconstructed in their original form.
Well, I don't like the look of it. If it was as amazing as it looks, the accident wouldn't have happened in the first place, of course.
I suppose that's true, yes.
But nothing ever goes according to plan, does it? Considering how badly damaged everything is, Professor Harebrain was lucky to escape unscathed, I'd say. We should have a good look around the machine while we can, I think. Touch anything and I'll make sure I kill you before I get strung up myself, you hear? I won't touch a thing, I promise. So please, spare a thought for your digestion. Stop Please chew, Inspector Gregson. Anyway, do you really think this machine could disassemble people like it claims? He asks, looking totally incredulous. Give it a rest, Sunshine. If we were allowed to examine all this bleeding scrap metal, maybe we could answer that question. But we can't we? He's really grumpy. He's just kind of like here, like whining.
The annoying rules, you mean, because of the annoying rules.
Exactly! The annoying, obstructive, flaming rules! Oh, look at the base of the machine there.
Oh yes, there's a tool of some kind poking through the wire mesh.
It's a screwdriver, I think?
Oh, isn't it a lovely one? The handle is in the shape of a capital letter A.
It is? Oh, yes, you're right. What's the matter with you? Don't touch anything, I said! Touch anything and I'll make sure I kill you before I get strung up myself, I said! Yes, I understand, sorry. I only touched it a teeny weeny bit. God, if I ate my, actual, snacks as fast as Gregsy, I'm like, he's eating them too fast. I don't even want any anymore. He's eating too many of them.
But Gregsy, I'm very curious about this screwdriver. Really very, very curious. Of course, your ladyship. You're so clever, your ladyship. Fancy spotting something like this.
But I'm afraid I can't let you have it.
Well, Bruno found it first.
I assure you I'll investigate it thoroughly. He's gone off with it.
That was very mean. I'm afraid Inspector Gregson is going to make a very clumsy and embarrassing mistake in next month's installment now.
This, evil dynamic where he's, butter... Well, and the fact that she knows he's, buttering her up so she doesn't write mean things about him in the newspaper is just, encouraging her to write more mean things about him. Funny. What a silly little dynamic they have. I remember when they first revealed that dynamic in the first game, it was so sus. I was like, why is this cop guy who's mean to everyone being like, oh, itsy bitsy cutesy, I'm such a big fan, whenever we bring up the, child. Like, uh-oh, what's happening here? But no, he just doesn't want her to write bad shit about him. Like, it's so funny. Is there anything else I can investigate here that I haven't already looked at? I don't think so. Where do I go now, then? How do I go back down the stairs? Do I have to just, like, move to the location and... I'm at the location. How do I go back down the stairs? What am I even supposed to be doing right now? Like, I talked to him about stuff, but we didn't get anything. He just, like, ran off with a screwdriver. How do we... Can I go back down the stairs? How do I go back down the stairs? Because it wasn't a separate area. It was, like, a weird, like, this is, like, a weird sub-area. The main area. Personally, I'd like to tinker around this place more. No, I didn't mean to... Well... What are you doing back here? Sorry, I accidentally clicked a button. Bye-bye. But now I guess we can look at the first floor without... Like, I couldn't figure out how to go down there otherwise, so I guess that'll work. I haven't examined... See, the weird thing, though, is the device was supposed to teleport him to the top of the tower, but he was, like, here. So, clearly it didn't exactly work as intended. Let's look at this thing. Let's give this thing a closer look over. Ah, there's some sort of lever here. What the? What is this? It's a crossbow. Yeah, I figured. Looks like a cross between a bow and a gun. I think it's probably useful. Yeah, okay. Crossbow. So now it's a crossbow. Okay. What do you think of this, Gino? Gino, would you take a look at... Oh, where did it go? Hey, looking for this order? I wonder if you got anything else? Okay, this is not... This is definitely the filler dialogue. Okay. I've already examined all of this stuff. Here I didn't... I mean, the balloons, but, like, that's gonna... Like, is that not... I feel like it's gonna give me the same hot air balloon text. Oh, it's her talking about hot air balloons instead. What are those things? Those are the flying balloons we've been talking about. Okay, blah, blah, blah. What? Creatures from outer space coming in round flying objects to attack Earth. What? We're just talking about hot air balloons, Bruno. I suppose other inhabitants of other planets are bound to be interested in the great exhibition. This is it, Iris! It's happening! It's not. What? We already had a conversation about how... Doing this conversation as a sequence makes it make less sense. What am I supposed to be doing? I feel like I've already presented everybody's stuff here, but Iris says she still wants to tinker around this place, so I'm like, what do I... Like, is there something I haven't shown somebody? I haven't presented you this, but... Okay, that's not... That was the definition of filler dialogue, the, like, 2 different conversations about hot air balloons. Okay, what haven't I haven't... Try presenting him the crossbow again, now that it's, like, actually unfolded. No? Okay. What about this? No? Okay. What do I do? What haven't I looked at? What's this? I've looked at everything already. What do I do here? Talk to why does she say she wants to tinker around here some more? I've clicked on everything already. I've clicked on everything and read all the dialogue already and presented everyone here every single piece of evidence. What do I do? I feel like I need to talk to like one of those forensics people. I don't know. Inspector Gregson. I might. Should I just end the stream? I don't know what to do. I've already presented you people every single piece of evidence that I have. What? Doesn't make any sense. And it's not helpful that I don't know how to go back down the stairs that I came up. Like, how do I leave? Do I have to, like, actually teleport to another area and then teleport back? That's so annoying. What do I do here? I already talked to you about everything. I already clicked on everything. What? I'm not reading these dumb text boxes. They're already done. What do I do here? Okay, I don't care. I don't care if she wants to tinker around here some more. This is not where I don't need to be here. I don't want to go to his office though either. Why do you keep walking back in here? I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm looking for. 22nd October. What do I do? I'm so excited about the prospect of Naruhodo's Anything Consultancy opening up for business again. What are you talking about? Okay, I don't... This is like filler text until you tell me what to do, right? It's as though time has stood still in here since Susie went back to Japan. I wanted to keep it ready for Miss Susato, so I've just left everything the way it was. Oh, I see. Right. And there was me thinking it's because of the way you are, Runo. You know, never bothering to tidy up, I mean. Iris, this isn't the time or place to bring... I'm talking to you because I want to know what to do in the video game. Where do I go? Go back to the Lord Chief's office where he won't be there? Yeah. Okay, let's go to the experiment stage. There has to be something I haven't done here. You want to see my badge? Or maybe check the crossbow again? Something else on it? Some sort of lever. Yeah. Oh, wow, it's a crossbow. It looks like a cross between a bow and a gun. Wow. Okay. Looks like you wind this around in order to draw the bowstring back and create tension. You must be able to fire arrows with a huge amount of force using this device. Ugh, really no idea what I was picking up on, I suppose. Okay. What do I do here? Can I, like, look for the arrow? Can I, like, look for some arrows? This would be perfect for someone like me who catches his ear with the bowstring 2 times out of 3. Like, Iris isn't even talking. Is this, like, useful dialogue? No, it's not. What am I doing? What am I supposed to be doing here? Like, look at this crossbow. Please stop stealing it from me. I might just cut stream because I genuinely... I might just, like, stop here. Because I actually have no idea what I'm supposed to be doing. This is, like, weird and dumb. And it's dumb that the two different, like... they're seemingly, once you go up to the top floor, you can't come back down here. Which makes me think this section is supposed to be very quick. Like, I just investigate down here, and then I go up there and investigate something. And I don't want to come back down here, but somehow I've missed something. Just don't know what.
Oh my god, I thought this was part of the Oh, look, what's this? A ripped piece of cloth. I thought that was part of the just general debris. I didn't realize it was a separate button. The edges appear to be a bit charred as well. Maybe that means it had something to do with the explosion. Let's make a note of it while Ginny's mid-yawn. Okay, well now I have a new evidence to present someone, so that's cool. Runo, listen! I think we found all the evidence in this area. Hurley might know something, mightn't he? We needed to click the stupid green cloth before we could leave. I will say this game is good. Like, this modern Ace Attorney. Okay, early Ace Attorney games, I would have done like another 20 minutes of gameplay of wandering around and talking to people, and then it would have been like, hey, you didn't click the cloth, and I would have been ready to go to trial being like, what do I do? Why can't I... Like, I would have had to come back here and find the cloth. This game kind of locks you into its investigation areas. It's not the same as, I didn't like this in Ace Attorney 5 Dual Destinies, where you can only investigate very specific rooms. I don't like that. I like being able to examine every room, but this game does use similar techniques without being so, like, restrictive, of, like, dropping you into an area, and I like the little text the little filler text. Okay, he's in the middle of some big case. Let's focus on this. Here, this is what you need. What's this? Madame Tussauds. There's another weird case going on right now? What? Okay, I guess we'll go talk to Sholmes. That's where Hurley is. At this popular London attraction? Yes, Hurley told me, but he told me to keep a secret from you, Runo. Madame Two-Spells? Okay. Madame Sisma! From the movie. Sherlock Holmes movie. Well, I guess that's a new location. But anyway, I like on this movement screen, it makes it very clear. It's like, oh, we've already been here. Oh, we've already been here. Oh, I think we should go here. Like, there's little text down here that basically tells you where to go. So when you're stuck wandering around because you didn't click on something to examine, it will tell you. When you're stuck wandering around because you didn't click on something to examine, it's at least pretty obvious what area you're supposed to be in. Like, I was going back to these areas, not because I actually thought that's where we needed to go, but just to see if something would happen, because I was confused. And also to, like, reset this map, so I could be on the bottom instead of on the top. Anyway, Madame Two-Spells. No one, there hasn't been chat activity today, so I've kind of just been chilling, talking to myself. Not like a long Let's Play episode, which is fine. Honestly, it's fine depending on the like, there are some cases where I get real bored. There's some cases where I'd get bored playing for this long. It's been like 2.5 hours, but this case is actually, this case is quite good, so I'm pretty in it. Like, that's why I could have just cut stream when I didn't know what to do, but I'm like, I still have some gamer juice left in me. There's still some stuff. We still gotta talk to Madame Tua. What the? What? What's happening? What is this place? Madame Two-Spells Mystery. Look at all these terrifying scenes, but why are all the people so still? Because they're not real. Guillotines. Ruthless murderers. I know what I'll be... Okay, like, who is this? This is like another weird element being thrown in. They're all wax models. They're amazingly realistic, aren't they? What do you think, Runo? Shocked? Wax models? Ah! I read about dead bodies in wax once in a magazine about strange phenomena. Depending on how corpses are kept after death, parts of them can turn to wax. It's called an adiposi. Why is he acting like Soseki right now? Like, dude, calm down. Stop talking about creepy things like that, Bruno. First the aliens and then adiposier. It doesn't form readily, you know. It's only in very specific. Ah! What now? I've just remembered something else I read in another magazine. Wait, what are you doing, dude? Have you been reading, like, conspiracy magazines? Since not being able to, like, practice law has really gotten into my head. I'm, like, monologuing to a invisible camera off on the side and freaking out about, like, aliens and witches. There was an old lady, maybe
witch who used to pour molten wax over corpses and put them on display.
None of the exhibits in here are real. They're all entirely man-made replicas.
They can't be. Do you really expect me to believe that? Just look at them.
Oh, this one barely even looks 3D. I don't know why you... There's no way anybody could make people as a model that are this realistic.
And they're all such gruesome scenes. Hi, Sholmes. Wait. Those two people over here are like real people, right? Too? I thought they were waxed for a second, but I'm like, no, they look more real than the wax figures. What? Okay, this is the thing Sholmes is investigating. There's like 3 different cases going on. I assumed Sholmes was investigating the Reaper stuff, but apparently he's working on some other case that he finds utterly disinteresting, apparently, because he didn't even talk to us about it. Very wild. Those are big areas for us to look at in this case. So what is this? Why is there a hand here? Is this an arm?
It looks like an arm, doesn't it? Maybe one of the waxwork models has fallen over.
You don't think it could be the work of one of the mass murderers in here, do you?
Bruno, stop scaring me!
Is it a wax arm or a real one?
Come on, you're always pointing that finger of yours in court. Poke that arm now and see how it feels.
Objection! Oh, okay, we're not gonna... Okay. I like that Ryunosuke's too, like, scared to investigate this place for some reason. Is this some infamous murderer?
Yes, called Jane the Ripper. All of her victims were young women.
I knew it. You can tell by the way she's holding that knife.
What's the matter, Bruno?
I've worked it out. I know what she's doing. She's trying to fill that bathtub with blood so she can have a soak in her victim's gore. Dude, are you okay? Is Ryunosuke okay? He needs some rest. He shouldn't be here. It's just a museum, dude. Holy crap. That big heavy curtain is in a very prominent position, isn't it? I have a nasty feeling there's going to be something truly horrifying behind it.
Oh yes! That's the famous Tuspells... Is it Tuspells or Two Spells? Tuspells special exhibit. It depicts one of England's most notorious killers. Do you want to pay the extra fee and have a look?
Pay more money? Could be even more terrified. Ooh, let me think about that for a moment. No!
It was only a suggestion. Jeez. Oh, yeah.
This guy, he's gonna think it's wax, and then it's not gonna be wax. These models are so well made, I can't tell what's waxwork and what's a real human.
Or maybe all the exhibits are real people. And when it's closing time and all the visitors have gone home, they suddenly start moving about.
Just thinking about it makes me wish I was at closing time and I was on my way home. Okay, that's like a real dude, though. Like, no. Okay. Alright, so what is Sholmes doing here? Is this an example of Western Sujigiri?
I don't know what that is.
And neither does the audience. You know when an unscrupulous samurai randomly attacks a passerby to test his sword?
I still don't know. No.
It's kind of funny. It's like such a specific thing that like them having a word for it in Japanese.
But actually, a waxwork samurai would probably be hugely popular. Could you model it, do you think, Bruno? Doing that Sujigiri thing you mentioned?
Well, I do have a sword, but I have no intention of testing how sharp it is on a human subject. For now, at least. Well, hi, Sholmes. Let's talk to it. It's the great detective, Mr. Herlock Sholmes! Mr. Sholmes has his own wax statue in here? Really?
Well, he is world famous after all.
It's an uncanny resemblance, isn't it? Makes my skin crawl to look at it.
But look, Bruno! You can kick this Hurley and he doesn't move a muscle.
What? What is he doing? Yeah, okay. Need him in the balls. You can't go around kicking the exhibits, Iris. Wait. That animation was so funny. He just went and like bounced, and then now like he lurched, and now he's posing again. What is he doing? Is he trying to pretend he's waxed so we go away? What are you doing, Sean? Huh? Really? Did it really move? And look closely. There are beads of sweat on the face of this waxwork model. Shall we move on, Iris? Over there, look. There's a great murder scene to enjoy. Much more appealing. My dear fellow, I take exception to your recoiling in such a manner, as if you've seen something truly abhorrent. Why were you pretending to be a wax figure? What are you doing? Case is so goofy. Except the Reaper stuff, everything else is so goofy. Iris, what possessed you? I strictly forbade you from divulging my temporary waxwork secret to Mr. Naruhodo. Temporary waxwork? What do you mean? And that kick! Could you not have exercised a little more restraint? You winded me. But Bruno has something he needs to ask you. A question. Wait, are they like trying to make a wax model out of him? What is he doing? Like, what is happening right now? Is this even a case that he's investigating? Why is he like posing? Well, I can't deny that your timing was impeccable. A mere 2 minutes more being stationary like that, my great brain, upon which all my success have been built, would have turned to wax. Thank goodness we arrived in time. What is going on? Indeed, in many ways, the pair of you just saved the world from an unimaginable loss. Oh, Hurley, you do like to talk nonsense, don't you? He could know something, it's true, about Lord Von Zeeks, what happened in the past to change him. Now that you're here, let's take our time. How can I be of assistance? For you're in luck. I've suddenly quite taken with the idea of conversing. Oh, well, actually, I'm in quite a hurry. And if my eyes don't deceive me, I believe something is afoot within the walls of this very museum. A most fascinating case, if I'm not mistaken. Really? Moreover, I have a strong suspicion that it is related to the matter about which you've come. Is it? I don't... What? We shall speak again presently, my dear fellow. But for now I must return to my work. What? Back to being a temporary waxworker? What is going on? What are you doing? So stupid. Why are we here? What is this? Why are we here? What do you mean by a temporary waxwork, Mr. Solms? Exactly what you see. I'm part of the exhibits here, catching these criminals in the act. Catching them? Every half an hour, I hone in on a different killer in one of the displays and adopt a new pose to ensnare him. When members of the public come for a closer look, I offer them my hand to shake. For a shilling, I'll happily allow them to take a photo. Why are you doing this? You could be going to the Great Exhibition. Do we just need money? What's going on? Why? My dear fellow, isn't it obvious? For the money! I don't... What? As it stands, I may struggle... We do just need money. Just find a case. There's gotta be a case. How does the, like, mega detective not... Oh, Hurley, I'm so hungry. Woo. If push comes to shove, I shall have to ask you to do your bit, Mr. Naruhodo. What are these threatening to roll me into now? So with that in mind, how about a photograph? There's so many other things he could be doing to make money besides, like, basically street performing at the Wax Museum. Like, what? This is so weird. As a special treat, you may have your pick of the murderers and scoundrels in here. The choice is yours. Maybe some other time? Remember, Mr. Naruhodo, ignore me at your peril. I figured out how this is connected to the case. I figured it out. I'm like sitting here being like, what does a wax museum have to do with anything? Guy's body in exploding chamber. Body gets found. I was thinking, I'm like, is there a decoy? Is there like somebody disguised as Mr. Asman? Somebody there's a wax decoy. There was a wax decoy, Mr. Asman, either in the machine or in the Crystal Tower. Like, That it's connected to that. I'm calling it ahead of. I'm calling it 3 hours ahead of time right now for the information we will probably discover towards the end of the next stream. I'm gonna call it right now ahead of time. There was a wax Odie Asman involved somehow. Why else would they introduce this wax museum to us? That has nothing to do with anything. Madame Tussauds. What is this place? Madame Tussauds came to London from France 3 years ago, I understand. Since she opened this little waxwork museum last year, it's enjoyed great popularity in London. There are museums like this in Japan too, but these display they're going to such a great emphasis. They're going to such great lengths to emphasize how much the wax figures here look like real people. Like they're really trying to hammer that in. So I think like wax imposter is a part of this case. When the imposter is wax, the extreme realism of these waxwork models is a particular secret of the Tussauds family, they say. They earned renown during the French Revolution for waxworks of victims on the guillotine. Ugh, that sounds grim. The gruesome scenes were portrayed with such... Now I'm trying to remember if in the opening cutscene for this, in the opening cutscene for this chapter at the beginning of the stream, I guess I'll know when I rewatch this, like, stream to upload it to YouTube tomorrow, probably. But, did Odie Asman, like, move in that cutscene? Did we see him, like, walk? Because I'm, like, trying to figure out where the, like, wax comes into play. Because it's either the dead body is wax, somehow, or the guy in the exploding machine was wax. Like, I'm sure of this. I am sure of this information. Because I can't imagine any other possible way in which, like, these extremely realistic wax models would be connected to the rest of the case in any other way. Like, unless this is just a complete non sequitur, that has to be it. Apparently, the sculptors would make the models directly from the corpses, right there at the site of the executions. That's just one of several legends about the Tussauds family. Whether there's any truth to it, I couldn't say. But anyway, this museum houses models of famous people from all over the globe. Nevertheless, the most popular area of the museum by quite some margin is this House of Horrors. House of Horrors? Of course, visitor members are dwindling now as a result of the Great Exhibition. But so I'm not even making money here. Like, why am I here and not the... But people usually flock here to see the exhibits of some of London's most vile criminals, them with gruesome... The ways that they, like, write... The ways that they write Sholmes out of just following us around all the time are so, like, odd. And increasingly, like, silly. Like, oh, he's not with us today because he's pretending to be a wax model at the wax museum. And, like, making money off of people for, like, doing, like, a move. Like, what? What is he doing? There's no way this makes enough money to justify the time he's spending on it. Naturally, most of the miscreants portrayed here were sent to the gallows. So they're even stiffer now than the models of them. Have you heard of poor taste? My dear fellow, the public live for poor taste. They yearn to be shocked. So the hideous exhibits in here they're all portrayals of real events that actually took place. Is it just me, or did the temperature in here seem to drop? Anyway, I advise you not to think too deeply about what you see here. Oh! I'm back to being a wax. He's back to being a wax. Alright, let's the Reaper connection, please. Restore some sanity. Von Zeeks is gonna hate us when we spend half of the trial. Von Zeeks is gonna hate us when we spend at least an hour of the trial talking about wax models tomorrow. Like, oh god. Well, what is it you'd like to ask me? Actually, it's about Lord Von Zeeks. Ah, a friend, Mr. Reaper. How do you find him? Well, I trust. get these other Steam notifications out of here. I need to turn those off. And so I filled in Mr. Sholmes about everything I learned. About Lord Von Zeeks, about Professor Harebrain, and about the strange coincidence that they had been at university together. So I'm wondering what it was that happened to make Lord Von Zeeks such a different person. I was sure that you know, Hurley. You said there was something going on here in this exhibit hall before. That something was afoot. And that you believed it was related to what I wanted to talk to you about. Mr. Sholmes? Well, seems we've reached the unavoidable... Greetings. Oh, this is not... I was expecting like a, ho ho ho, kind of like, I was expecting a much rounder figure for Miss Two Spells in my head. Let's just say that. Now, like, wood. I hope, not a, like, cutie witch. Let's go. I hope you are appreciating my museum. Sorry, have we... Mr. Sholmes, do you know this? Not again. So she's gonna end up testifying tomorrow once the, like, wax stuff becomes involved in the plot. My apologies. I'm Esmeralda Tuspels. Tuspels? I don't know. Probably Tuspels. This is my museum of waxwork. You're the... Binze? Okay, she's got a French accent. I'm, like, bad at those. I'm bad at making French accents sound, like, sexy. Or, like, anything but, like, silly. Bien sûr. Though only 26 years young, I might add. Okay. Is that significant somehow? I'm a madame in name only. It adds a certain je ne sais quoi. Right. Firstly, I must apologize for my waxworks. Or rather, one waxwork in particular. I was led to believe he was a great detective, but he seems unable to settle. It's been so long since I've done French, I don't know. Next time you move from your designated exhibit, there will be toil and trouble. She sounds deadly serious. Is he like wax or what? Why is he here? Like, this is so weird. Something's afoot here. I don't... Is this a great deduction kind of afoot? Or just like... Haven't we got enough on our plate already? Yeah, let's go. I'm like, there's already a lot of elements in this case. And now suddenly we're at, like, Wax Museum. But, haughty French witch lady. I'm like, okay. Alright. I'm a little more interested now. 26 years young. Gina Lestrade's older than she was in the... She was like 16, 17 in the last game. She aged up a little bit. Oh, silence. Ask me. Albert Harebrain, 33. Von Zeeks. Oh, do ask me. Alright, enough looking at profiles. Madame Tuspels. The wax works. Did you make all these wax works, Madame Tuspels? I did. I am the third generation... That's not... I did. I am the third generation of waxwork artisans, you know? My French is so bad, though. Gosh! I remember when I was playing through the first game, I would talk about how I was in, like, a... accents class at university, like, learning accents. French was one of the ones we did, but I did not retain it very well. I was just not very good at it. It was my grandmother who began the tradition in my family. Her fortunes were checkered, living through the turbulent times of the French Revolution as she did. I mean, I'm like, okay, I was, like, fine at it, but pairing it with, like, a character voice like this is definitely trickier for me than if I was doing, like, British or American. So that is when she acquired the savoir-faire that leads to the astonishing life like this. So they, like, family the family business is making waxworks out of like French Revolution guillotine victims. That's sick. This girl's wood, absolutely wood.
All these waxworks really do look as though they're alive. In fact, they look more alive than Hurley. What you see exhibited here represents the most atrocious of London's criminal past. All the waxworks were created in the presence of real people on which they are modeled, in the hours immediately following their executions. That is the secret to their extraordinary life like this.
That sounds terrifying. Terrifyingly hot. Oh. I gotta get off stream. Oh, look, I may have been going for a little. I'm a little loopy. I'm a little loopy, guys. No, I'm not. She's just cute. She's just a baddie. What can I say?
Hey, excuse me. What are you mumbling over there to yourself? You say I am bad? Perhaps I am. But one thing I am not bad at.
Let's get it back to the topic on hand.
One thing I am not bad at is my waxworks. To carry out one's trade par excellence, one must go to extraordinary lengths. My exhibits are a reflection of society. I create only that which the public wishes to see.
Ugh, why couldn't the public have wished for something less horrifying?
Do not fear.
Sorry.
This room is the only one in the museum with such a macabre theme. I do hope you'll explore. There are models of famous singers, actors, politicians. Something for every last taste, I hope.
It was Iris who dragged me straight in here to come to think of it.
Sorry, perhaps I should have eased you into things.
God, that was just one line of text. Oh, I'm so like off the rails distracted. So off the No, I'm not gonna be horny anymore. What's the situation with that?
Ah, my temporary waxwork model. He approached me some days ago, you see, with a business proposal.
Oh, what sort of proposal?
My dear madam, what do these sparse exhibits need is the addition of a world-famous great detective.
Why didn't he just, like, get her to pay him a big sum for, like, making his likeness? Like, why does he have to be here? It's weird.
Or words to that effect. Naturally, I am well aware that Mr. Sholmes is widely known in London as a talented detective.
It's great detective, actually. He's very specific.
Yes, the creme de la creme. So I was keen to come to some arrangements with him, of course. But sadly, we were unable to agree to terms.
Let me guess. Someone wanted to... Oh, so he was... So he was just trying to sell her, like, oh, yeah, make a waxwork version of me, and then she wouldn't pay up. So now this is what he's doing instead. Okay. Okay. That makes more sense. Let me guess. Someone wanted to charge an exorbitant price for his services. For a mere £500, I will dive into your cauldron of wax this very moment. Why would he need to...
Oh, words to that effect.
Mr. Sholmes might have overdone it slightly with the sales pitch. Oh no, don't make the, like, sultry pose. Oh boy.
Regrettably, the museum has a shortage of funds at the moment due to unforeseen circumstances.
Ooh. Ooh.
So we came to the current arrangement instead.
Surely he doesn't really need to do what he's doing, does he?
I would think not, but he was very insistent.
I have a 50 shilling problem that must be resolved by the morning.
Or words to that effect. It's the pawnbroker, that's what it is. He must have something to redeem.
Oh, so maybe that's connected to something bigger. Something in the way
Something is sus. Something afoot. Can I ask you something? Bien sûr. I'm just curious. Is anything going on in the museum at the moment? Some kind of incident, perhaps? Whoever suggested such a thing to you? Oh, well, it was your temporary waxwork over there. He mentioned it to me a little. Oh! He's disappeared. A wax model is a work of art, not some tawdry object for trade. Ah! Oh, wait, or is that him talking? A wax model is a work of art, not some tawdry object for trade. There you are. Leaving the exhibit again when you should be working? Do you wish to be melted down? Melt me, mommy. My dear Madam Two-Spoons, save your reprimands. There are more pressing concerns. The wax can wait. It's our ideas about your current problem we must throw into the melting pot instead. Personally, I would advise you not to involve the police. Why ever not? She's turned as white as a sheet. Because you have at your disposal a great detective, whose services you may employ for a mere 50 shillings. Though please be aware that I prefer, no, I insist upon payment in advance. There's a mystery here? Is that actually a person's arm down there? I don't... Very well. Great detective. Let us see if you are able to live up to your name, shall we? Bum, 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 bum. Oh yeah, great deduction time. Before I engage my analytical process, I must ask you to clarify something. What, pray, is behind the curtain? That is the two-spell special exhibit. There is an extra charge to see it. Ah, the special exhibit in the House of Horrors. It must depict a special killer then, I presume. Would you be so kind as to draw back the curtain, I wonder? Ah, absolutely none. There's nothing amiss behind there. Nothing amiss, madam. Did I say there was something amiss? What about the arm protruding ominously from under the curtain? Is that a part of the exhibit, or are you implying that there is something amiss going on back there? I strongly encourage you to allow me to see what lies beyond, before the situation worsens. Yes. Very well. I will draw back the curtains, but only a one. I don't know. It's weird French words. But I will draw back the curtains. Besides the... What? I must confess, I peeked behind the curtain earlier. The Two Spells special exhibit is a very bleak graveyard scene indeed. And yet, somewhat surprisingly, the waxwork killer one would expect is nowhere to be seen. What does strike me, however? Oh, that's not a wax man. Uh-oh. Is the portly gentleman lying peacefully on his back on the floor? What? Is this another murder? What is going on? Well, then perhaps, Mr. Sholmes, that man on the floor is the ruthless killer himself. I'm afraid not, my dear fellow. He's a perfectly ordinary London gentleman. Not even a waxwork, in fact. What? Oh, no. As skillfully made as these waxworks are, they are always distinguishable from real humans. So, allow me to present my two conclusions. The first is that a sizable business transaction has been taking place in this special exhibit. This is where she takes people back to make wax models of them, so they can fake bodies. Yeah. Why would you say that? And the second is that the aforementioned transaction is linked to a serious crime. Ah! I don't understand. So, Madam Two-Spoons, as you've agreed to my fee, you shall now have the pleasure of seeing this famously great detective and temporary exhibit at work. Yeah, that's great deduction time. Topic 1. Waxworks paint. To begin with, we must ask ourselves what exactly is afoot here at this museum. The answer is revealed by the bundle of banknotes protruding so helpfully from your bag. In my estimation, some £200. That is all my own money. So what does this large sum of money reveal? Ah, not as much as the involuntary glance you cast, it would seem, Madame Tuspas. Yes, the answer lies where your eyes now fall. The significance of the £200 is revealed by that public notice. Okay, that's wrong. I'm pretty sure I already know, like, the general conclusion of this plotline. Like, I figured it out kind of before we even opened the curtain. So, like, waxwork for sale. Your business has hit hard times, it would seem. In short, you sold the infamous killer, the centerpiece of your special exhibit, for the sum of £200. No, okay, see, that's not what's going on. No. Now, let us explore the next curiosity with which we are presented. Who is the portly gentleman stretched out so peacefully on the floor? It would appear the man has suffered a severe shock, the cause of which is clearly known to you. Oh, he just, like, psychic wounded her. Okay. Alright. Calm down. Calm down, everybody. Calm down. Unfortunately, madam, keeping secrets does not appear to be your forte. What dealt the man such a shocking blow was, of course, the £200. Oh God! All right, now we're off the wagon. Now we are far off the wagon. It would appear that you twisted this gentleman around your little finger most effectively. What are you suggesting? He rashly agreed to purchase the waxwork for the sum of £200. Only when he came to hand the money over did it occur to him what an extortionate amount he was paying. But the money was no longer in his hands. And the result? The scene we see before us. He collapsed in shock. That's somehow even dumber than what I thought he was saying. Yes, the killer in this special exhibit fetched a killer price. We can only pray that the gentleman's dreams are not plagued with regret. Conclusion. Sold for cash. Topic 2. Waxwork location. Conclusion. The question that arises then is what has become of the waxwork that changed hands? Let us consider that problem for a moment, shall we? You cannot possibly. She's like pretending to be like none of this is right. What immediately strikes me about this conundrum is the young man standing over there. Who is this fellow? To find the answer, we need only to observe his neckerchief. Such as is worn by policemen as a secret sign to follow members of the force that a crime is being perpetrated. Yes, this young man is an undercover policeman, currently investigating this museum. I know him well, in fact. It's Sergeant John Clay. What are you talking about? The man's quite a celebrity. He's received triple accolades at last year's policing awards. But next, we turn our attention to the old man sat before him with the particularly unsightly visage. I've been watching him closely, and he hasn't moved a muscle. Almost, in fact, as if he were a waxwork. But Your reaction only confirms my suspicions, madame. I noticed it at once, of course. Observe! The telltale sign that instantly proves whether or not this old man is a waxwork is the obvious price tag. This is so... Okay, I had a clearer picture of this before Sholmes started talking. Now I have a less clear picture. Threepence. A tragically low price, you might say. Though perhaps the going rate for aging waxworks is riddled with cracks. And yet you sold it to the portly gentleman for an exorbitant £200. A sort of plucky behaviour that's sure to attract the attention of Scotland Yard. Isn't that so, madame? I do not... I actually don't understand what he's saying anymore. Yes, the waxwork you sold has already been seized by the public and by the police and remains in their custody as we speak. Why did I read that as public? The old man must be reunited with his grave in the special exhibit, and not a moment too soon. Topic 2. Artwork location. Conclusion. Discovered already. Thus concludes Sherlock Holmes' great deduction of this horrifying puzzle. The cauldron! Oh my god. The cauldron of wax. I love it. I love the I see I've stunned you all into silence. You have, Hurley, you have. And you've obviously upset this young lady in the process. Cauldron looks awfully hot. If I could just bring up 1 point, Mr. Sholmes. Ah, the notorious Naruhodo 1 point. I'm all ears, my dear fellow. According to your deduction, then, the special exhibit featured this old policeman. So that would mean that he's the particularly ruthless. Yeah, wait, that part, like, blatantly doesn't make sense, according to his logic. Killer policeman, Ottermore. Sorry? It was a mysterious series of murders that rattled the capital only last year. The police rushed to the scene every time, only to find the culprit had disappeared into the ether. And it turned out the culprit was a policeman himself, a senior officer by the name of Ottermore. So you mean that's who the sinister-looking old man there is supposed to be? Indeed. It is a particularly grim face, is it not? Unforgettable, in fact. Yes, I remember that odious countenance only too well. But is 200 pounds a lot of money for a wax model? I don't know, but it would be enough to afford one of the latest steam carriages, if that puts things into perspective. So, it is quite a lot, then. Is there anything else you wish to add before I melt you down? Is that... Oh god. That bubbling wax is looking more and more ominous. Ugh, the smell of all that molten wax is starting to worry me. Mr. Sholmes did more or less just accuse her to her face, so... I think I might have to call on your assistance here, Iris, if that's alright. To make some minor corrections to the great detective's great deductions. Of course it's alright. We'll set things straight. Let's get things started, shall we? Before Madame Two-Spills vents her anger. Just what I was waiting to hear, my dear fellow. Unfortunately, I think... So, Madame Two-Spills, in accordance with our agreement, you shall now have the pleasure of seeing this famously great detective and temporary exhibit at work. In the next stream of Great Ace Attorney. I'm really liking this case, so I'm actually pausing the game right now so I can actively prolong my enjoyment of the case rather than finishing it in like 2 streams. Also, there's only like 1 viewer here, so I don't feel too bad being like, come back next time. Sorry. The 1 viewer. If I was having like an unusually large amount of people, I'd be like, okay. If I was having like active chat conversations, I'd be like, let's keep going. But it is almost 11 p.m. Wow, and damn, there are people who sleep in this house that aren't me. So a bit of an abrupt place to stop it, but I will solve the great deduction tomorrow. Investigation Part 1, Madame Two-Spills. That means we get more Madame Two-Spills content next stream. Baddie. The baddie, such a baddie baka. Alright, cut the stream right now. Goodbye.